Close enough. Okay, so pardon that brief silence, but yeah, I'm just in a way right now, I guess. Yes, that's the correct microphone. Hello. Hello there. So I've been meaning to get to this game for a little while now, and I figured, why not? Why not do it now? Share it live with the live stream crowd, assuming anyone's even up at this time. But let's get into the Hive Swap Friend Sim. Volume 1 of Bloodthirst and Bratwurst. Of aesthetics, crimson and otherwise. Of ladies, gray and lucite white. Additional content will be released on a regular basis. Purchase more volumes here. Well, might as well start with Volume 1, although I don't think there's any need. We've just crash-landed on a planet called Alternia, and staggered from the smoldering wreckage of your ship. You are now completely alone in a strange world. Desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly a bit of medical attention. But most of all, you are desperate for friendship. Won't someone on this godforsaken rock be your buddy? Any weirdo will do. You're not that picky. Hang on, what's this now? Is someone approaching? Let's start with our data. Yes, someone is approaching. A strange, gray-skinned alien, clad in blue. Perhaps they will make for a good friend. Dear God. Just what are you supposed to be? Your stammering reply eventually conveys that you are a lost traveler who is hungry and probably in some need of a medical treatment. You're also really lonely and wouldn't mind making a new friend right about now. Oh. Oh my. Oh. Evil laughter, of course. Oh, how funny this is. How very droll. You want to be my friend? It's too much. This thing at my doorstep, wishing to know me in any capacity. The hilarity. God fucking damn it. You know, I've always had a little bit of a hard time imagining how to best translate the text quirks of Homestuck. The because every time I do that, I want to elongate the A. Hilarity somehow escapes my ability to capture with maniacal laughter. How rare. You apologize for your presumptuous request. You hang your head, turn around, and begin to walk away. And just what the fuck do you think you're doing? Who invited you to leave? You stop in your tracks obediently and turn to face her again. Your possibly broken ribs are throbbing in pain, but this does not strike you as the right moment to exhibit weakness. It dawns on me that we may have gotten off on the wrong saunter pod. Where are my manners? Ghastly behavior on my part. After all, it isn't your fault. You seem to be some sort of hideous freak, is it? Such a tragic creature cannot be held responsible for such a devastating shortfall of social competence. I would weep for you, really, except for crying out of 3 eyes at once gets a little bit messy. So instead, I think I'll be saving my tears for someone less offensively worthless. Ooh. You aren't sure if she's inviting you inside, or if she just got you to stay a little longer so she could insult you some more. You try to remain stoic while your confrontational new friend decides what to do with you. Unfortunately, you sniffle slightly. Hold on, I'm turning the volume down. Wait, I should have done that in the game, damn. You guys are probably getting at it with this loud fucking music too. Oh, that might be too quiet. That might just be a little too quiet. My bad, everyone. Unfortunately, you sniffle slightly. Oh. Oh my, oh dear, you're sad? So amusing to me, mildly endearing even. Perhaps we'll decide later if it's endearing once I have more information. It's entirely possible I will retroactively decide it's disgusting. But for now, try to put yourself at ease, you completely pitiful fool. Not one more sniffle. Do you understand? You nod, while practicing exemplary control over your nose. You've gotten yourself so agitated. I wonder why. You have nothing to worry about from me. Of course I will be your friend. Conditionally, I mean. There is a chance the designation will be formalized if you behave in ways that I approve of, starting now. Oh my god. It's hard to get a read on where the music should be. Let's call it a friendship in progress, agreed? Your heart swells. This is what you've been waiting for. A new friend. Oh gosh. All you have to do now is try not to fuck anything up at all. Possibly for many hours. Come into my hive. This way. After me. You look like you could use nourishment. I don't know what it is that whatever you are eats, generally. But it doesn't matter. You will eat whatever it is I have on hand, if I tell you to. How does that sound? How does it sound? Sounds fine, I guess. Get the fuck out of my face and never come back. Well, that was quick. That was very quick. Why don't we just that sounds fine, I guess. Instant rejection. Of course. Let's Alright. So, I guess this game is hard mode. Social interactions hard mode. It sounds good. I'll do whatever you say. Obviously, it sounds good. You will definitely enjoy it. You will enjoy everything I provide you with and tell you to do. I can't imagine any sort of negativity or disagreement coming from one of my friends. I will assume that we share this philosophy when it comes to friendship. You say, oh yes, absolutely. You nod as enthusiastically as you can without aggravating your broken ribs. You consider giving her a thumbs up as well until you realize one of your arms is probably broken too. You'll try to make sure she doesn't notice though. It would probably leave a bad impression. Come with me. There's something I need your help with. You follow her into her hive. It's a bit gloomy in here. You suppose she's going to fix you something to eat soon, as promised. You pass through her kitchen and out the other side. To another room? Okay, you guess dinner can wait. This way. Try not to let any of your broken limbs slow you down. A good friend wouldn't allow such trifling physical ailments cause me any inconvenience. Oh, so you guess she does know you're injured. Fair enough. You hobble a little faster, through another door into a much darker room, and now down a flight of stairs? It's hard to see. There are torches along the wall ahead. A monstrous noise rumbles below. Don't mind her, she's just hungry. She's always hungry, though. What's that? You're hungry too? I have not forgotten. What sort of a piece of shit friend do you take me for? You didn't remind her that you're hungry. You thought it, though. Can she read your mind? You hope not. That's going to make this friendship in progress a bit awkward. Here we are. This is where you will be most useful to me as a friend. You look around with a sense of relief. You see no sign of whatever hungry thing was grumbling down here. You are less relieved to see several other kids trapped in cages of various shape and size. One of them makes eye contact with you. The boy is the same kind of alien as her, horns and all. He has a dark red symbol on his shirt. His expression seems to plead with you. He struggles to say help. Your new friend looks unamused and twitches her finger. Helplo, she says. Helplo, by which I mean hello, of course. Looks like you're the new friend in progress chosen by the great and beautiful Ardata. Helplo, by which I mean hello, of course. Looks like you're the new friend in progress chosen by the great and beautiful Ardata. She's my savior and reason for being. I am nothing without her. I'd hollow myself out and let her make a nest inside of me if she'd permit it. You turn away from this boy. You don't want to hear anything he has to say ever again. Don't mind him. He's always regarded himself as a comedian. Come, over here. This is what I need your help with, if you're going to have any value to me as a friend. You're led to a dank corner of this, well, you're going to call it like you see it, this dungeon. Your new friend has a dungeon full of sad, suffering children, and presumably a monster lurking somewhere in here as well. It's not ideal. Then again, social beggars like you can't be choosers. I've been having an awful time with it. You can do it for me. It will save me some time. You look at the thing in question. You doubt she's been having an awful time with it. You doubt this because it's still in its box, looking completely untouched since it was brought down here. It's a box containing a table? A table that looks ominously like it was designed to keep a person strapped to its surface. I will need you to assemble it. Here's a screwdriver in case you need it. I will assume other required tools are contained within the box. You take the screwdriver with your non-broken arm. This isn't exactly what you had in mind. Okay. So, what is going on here, Necromarch, is that we have crashed on an alien planet and are in desperate need of food, medical attention, most of all, a friend. And so we have opted to make friends with what appears to possibly be a murderous bitch. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I meant this beautiful woman, of course. You take the screwdriver with your non-broken arm. This is exactly what you had in mind. You don't know what you had in mind, really. A warm meal and friendly banter? Perhaps a sling for your arm and a remedial balm for your ribs? Still, you open the box without protest. Hold on, before you start, this will make for excellent content. My fans will appreciate this. She sets up a video recording device on a tripod and points it at you. A video feed comes to life on several monitors just behind you. You see in one corner of a screen an unflattering angle of your torso hunched over the furniture box. Other rectangles contain shots of the other kids in cages around the room. You suppose cameras are pointing at them too. You had no idea this friendship came with the perk of instant stardom. Now you may begin. She's suddenly sitting in a comfortable-looking chair facing you and holding a chalice, swishing around some viscous liquid it contains. You have all of the parts spread out on the floor, organized according to their labels in the instructions. You try to remember the last time you assembled something like this. You don't recall enjoying it. To be perfectly honest, this doesn't look like it will be fun at all. She frowns conspicuously. Oh, how sad for you. I'm sorry. Is this activity not to your liking? You reassure her vigorously that no, it actually looks amazing. You love shit like this. It's what you were born for, you say, as you swoosh the screwdriver around, demonstrating your plainly evident skill with the tool. Forget the thing that you just thought. Completely arbitrary and wrong thoughts pop into your head all the time. It meant nothing, you swear. Yes, I hear that a lot. Continue. You open the little bag full of screws. Jesus, there are like 50 screws in this thing. Where could most of these screws even possibly go? Judging from the picture, the table doesn't really seem that complicated. You look at your screwdriver, then study the screws. Every single one requires an Allen wrench. Does this even come with an Allen wrench? The instructions seem to suggest it does. Oh, oops. You look around, but you don't see one. Did you open the bag too forcefully? Did the Allen wrench go bouncing off into the dark dungeon crevice nearby? Maybe you lost some of the screws, too. Damn it. Just a moment. Oh, man, I hate allergies. You begin to sweat and look around nervously. You check underneath one of the parts. No, it's not under here. There. You grip the screwdriver a little tighter. You wonder what to do next. Get the hell out of there or just do your best to yeah. I mean, we're going to have to go with that. You decide it would be best not to complain about the missing Allen wrench. Your friend would probably consider it bad form. You'll just make do and twist in all the screws by hand as best as you can. Your broken arm isn't making this any easier. You favor the other one and prop pieces into place precariously, leaning against each other, while you nudge them into position with your legs so the screw holes align. It's really frustrating work, you're not going to lie. As you are twisting in the first screw, the grooves slip and the screw gets stuck, but you've already turned it too tight, now it's hard to get it out. You twist in reverse harder, but your fingers slip and the table pieces start to slide. They're going to fall. You react to catch them, but it's too late. The heavier piece tips over and slams you in the broken ribs on its way to the floor. It hits the floor with a bang. The stuck screw pops out and goes bouncing 10 or 15 feet away, settling deep underneath a piece of dungeon furniture. God, you're probably going to need to get that. You hear a light chuckle. Good. Good. She takes another sip of her chalice and settles even more comfortably into her chair. Is she enjoying this? You think she's enjoying watching you struggle to put this stupid thing together. Maybe a little too much. Nevertheless, you continue. A friend is a friend, and you don't like to let your friends down. You've committed yourself to this project. You will get the screw out from under there a bit later. Maybe when you need the final screw. You turn your attention back to the table pieces and try a different strategy. You place the biggest part, the table platform, flat on the floor. The legs will be pointing upward if they were attached. You position one leg in the right spot in alignment with the holes, sit on the table platform, and steady the leg with your feet. You grab another screw and concentrate. She sounds so pleased. It's strange, you admit, for watching this sort of activity to make someone so happy. But you also have to admit to taking a certain pride in it. It's wonderful, actually, to feel useful, wanted, important even, if only somewhat menially, to a great new friend who has discovered a way for your talents to improve her life. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice one of the caged kids reaching out with his hand. He's concentrating. Then you notice the screw you lost slowly slide from it, or out from it, from beneath its hiding place. Nice. Everyone's working like a team down here. Ardata does not look at the kid, but sneers a bit. She reaches toward him, and he appears to have trouble breathing. After a moment, you notice the screw slowly slides back under the thing. She releases him from his breathing problems, resumes her pleasant expression, and takes another sip from the chalice. You guess that was against the rules? You decide to make a note of it. Your friend runs a tight ship down here. You respect that. God. About an hour later, you have all four legs on, plus some other accoutrements attached. You wrestle mightily with the thing to get it upright, using only your good arm. It seems she may have forgotten about the final missing screw. You doubt the table needs it. You decide you won't bring it up if she won't. You give it a test. It's pretty wobbly since you were only able to tighten the screws with your bare fingers, but again, she doesn't seem to mind. She reclines and has a look on her face which makes her appear absolutely enamored of your handiwork. She has finished her drink, and the chalice is on a side table. Some awful-looking thing crawls along the floor toward her. It looks like some sort of spider, the size of an average dog. Its abdomen is preposterously large. Actually, you think it's a huge tick? That's what it looks like. It settles just in front of her. She puts her legs on top of it and crosses them. It settles under their weight and grumbles. Let's try it out, shall we? You shrug and sit down on the rather rickety table. You're about to lie down, but she interrupts you. No. You fool. You absolute fool. What do you think you're doing? That's not what I meant. Get up. You stand up, embarrassed. Again, without looking at the caged kid, she raises an arm toward him and beckons. He stares blankly and opens his own cage, which apparently wasn't locked. He shuffles vacantly over to your table and lies down on its surface. She looks at you expectantly. You aren't sure what to do. What? You didn't think I'd be playing table stickball on that thing, did you? You aren't sure what table stickball is. No, you really are pretty simple, aren't you? It's like a miniature version of arena stickball played on a table. Got it? You don't, but you nod. Now go to it. You shackle the kid's arms and legs to the table. That seems to be the right thing to do since the thing comes fitted with shackles. She gets up and lifts her huge tick-like pet. It makes more grumpy noises. She plops the enormous thing right down on the kid's chest. He appears rendered unable to protest. The tick bites the boy's neck and begins to feed. She smiles and pats its swelling abdomen. Dark, rust-colored blood dribbles from the place where it was attached to the boy's neck. Moments go by while she looks gratified by the process, proud almost. Then she looks at you expectantly. Well? You don't know what she means. The final screw. Aren't you going to retrieve it and screw it into wherever it needs to go? The job isn't done. I don't keep the company of many individuals who leave things unfinished, you know. Of course. What were you thinking? You should have known your friend wouldn't let that go unnoticed. Actually, you feel like an idiot for thinking it would. You stoop very low to the ground, on your knees, placing your cheek just above the floor. You peer under the large edifice. It's dark in there, and goes back a ways. Lots of room for that darn little screw to roll. You take a few pitiful swipes with your good arm, but come up empty. It must be further back. You think you can see it? Yeah, that must be it. Just a little further. You have an idea. A tool would be helpful. Guess the screwdriver will come in handy after all. How did she know? Your friend must be very wise. You think you're liking her more every minute. No. No. You grab the screwdriver and feel around with it. Yes, you got it, you think. You carefully scrape it closer to yourself and then pick it up. You then go back to the table to find the one remaining hole you left unscrewed. You slide under the table as a mechanic would with a car. There it is. The table is creaking and wobbling quite a bit now. The tick is really getting into its dinner, it seems. All the loose screws in the table have added up to a lot of give and leeway in the overall stability of the furnishing. Maybe the final screw will help. Ardata has returned to the setup with the monitors. She's adjusting some settings on the feed, controlling the zoom of the camera, and typing some remarks into a chat window. Sorry. This is very good material today. It's not often that I can provide content of this caliber to my subscribers. Go on, complete your project. This will be very good. You still think it's weird that she likes watching you put furniture together so much, but you're not one to judge friends. Sounds like a great way to lose friends, honestly. You screw in the final screw, but the stresses on the table are causing the holes to be misaligned. This won't be easy. The huge tick shifts its grotesque body above you, causing the table to creak loudly. You nervously slide halfway out from under the table to check it out. Then a loud pop. Then the sound of scraping metal. 6 or 7 screws shoot out of the desk like rivets in a sinking submarine. What a piece of shit this thing is. You think a little too late. You really needed that Allen wrench. All 4 legs splay dramatically out from underneath it at once, like a baby deer on ice. The table platform comes crushing down on your lower torso, breaking your pelvis. You bellow in pain and flail to pull yourself out. You forget that you're still holding the screwdriver in your desperate flailing. In your desperate flailing, you plunge the screwdriver into the fat abdomen of the tick, which begins gushing rust blood with great force, spraying your entire upper body and face. The beast starts thrashing wildly and screaming. You can't see your new friend due to the blood in your eyes, but you can't imagine she's thrilled about what's going on here. Your annihilated pelvis is in perfect agony. You have to get your miserable torso out from under the shitty table. You have an idea. With your broken arm, you start slapping the big ass of the screaming tick while yelling, "Yee-haw!" You clutch the screwdriver handle with your other hand, hard. The blood-gushing monster starts kicking and rearing, then blasts off across the dungeon floor like a pig at a rodeo. You hold on for dear life, still blind, but your plan works. You've been pulled out from under the tomb you've spent the last hour constructing for yourself. Your pelvis is in ruins, but at least you're free now and riding it like the wind. As you and the blood-spewing tick go tearing around the room, crashing into stuff, you hear a boy crying. You guess Ardata became distracted enough by your foolish display to cease her paralyzation method on him. Or maybe distracted is the wrong word. Maybe she's disappointed by your foolishness. Oh god, you might be blowing it right now. The tick swerves suddenly and starts running up the stairs. Ow, ow, ow. Your brittle pelvis feels every step on the way up. The Overwatch event, it's alright. I like that we have, in the anniversary event, a chance to go and earn any of the skins from the last 2 years. It careens through the rest of the hive, crashes through the front door, then comes to a sudden halt. You're catapulted violently over its backside and sail 50 yards through the air. You land on your ass and wipe the blood from your eyes. Okay, this was embarrassing. But everyone makes mistakes, right? You can still salvage this friendship. You know you can. You turn back to look at her hive. Ardata is standing in her doorway with a furious look on her face. She is flipping you off. You will not be my friend. Oh. Oh. Oh, oh, oh? Let's see, what the proper... Okay, what did I do wrong then? What did I do wrong? Okay, so... This is what I chose. And I didn't choose after this. This was the last choice I made. So let's get the hell out of here. First, you clear your head and try to think innocent thoughts. Fluffy clouds in the sky. Ironic, ironing some clothes. A winning touchdown pass from the sports. Ardata's long black hair spilling over her cloak. Wait. These are not innocent thoughts. Shut it down. Shut it down! There's no time for thinking. You have to act. You hurl the screwdriver at her and run. She calmly lifts a hand toward one of the kids in the cages. The kid, tensing up, lifts a hand in the direction of the screwdriver. The screwdriver freezes midair right in front of Ardata's head. You run up the stairs. She twitches a finger, and caged kid does a full-body spasm, and the screwdriver goes sailing towards you. Oops, I accidentally... It stabs deep into your leg and you buckle over, tumbling backwards down the stairs. You're a crumpled heap at the bottom of the stairs, bleeding, and you think your arm is broken in 2 places now. That didn't seem very friendly to me. Luckily for you, I'm very determined to make relationships work. Even ones with people who flee simple furniture assembly projects. She stands over you. You attempt to pull the Hold on. She's dedicated to making relationships work, but if I say, yeah, sure, that sounds alright, she fucking kicks me out. She stands over you. You attempt to pull the screwdriver out of your leg, but your entire body locks up. You can't move. She holds an outstretched hand just above you. You shouldn't try to move yet. And you certainly shouldn't try to pull out that screwdriver. You'll get blood everywhere. To my 3 little eyes under the present conditions, it seems to me that only one of us should attempt walking up these stairs. You feel relieved. Perhaps she has some alien means of levitating you up the stairs? Wait. No. Your body is tensing up again. It's moving without your permission. You get to your feet without taking the screwdriver out. Wow, that hurts. What is she making you... Wait, what? She can't be. You use both of your arms and all of your strength and pick her up entirely. The pain from your arm is excruciating. Arms with broken bones are not meant for heavy lifting. The additional weight on your wounded leg isn't great either. You hold her as a groom would hold a bride. She wraps her arms around your neck to hang on to you in what strikes you as an overly familiar manner. She looks directly into your eyes and grins. This is better. Now, onward and upward, new friend. Your legs begin to operate without your consent. They wobble and struggle under the weight. The wound throbs. You lumber back up the long flight of stairs, carrying her all the way. Rip me. Hold on. You take her back to the kitchen and set her down in a chair seated at a table. You didn't think I'd forget about dinner time, did you? Let's put your unfriendly behavior behind us. It's a good thing for you that I'm benevolent enough to overlook disgusting acts of betrayal. You may have noticed I keep several friends in my hive who I have similarly forgiven. Consider the transgression blood beneath the transgression blood beneath the abattoir. You exhale. Now that she mentions it, yes, you are hungry. Maybe a warm meal will lift your spirits and get this heretofore turbulent friendship back on track. Maybe you'll even get the chance to pull this screwdriver out of your leg. You pull out a chair and attempt to sit down, but your legs lock up, and then you stand again. Apparently, this was not the right thing to do. Oh, but why are you sitting? There's cooking to be done. You stagger mechanically over to the fridge and open it. You pull out a large hock of some sort of alien mystery meat and put it on the counter. It's bugs. With a broken arm, you reach in anguish for a big, dangling meat cleaver. You chop the hock, wincing with each swing of the cleaver. You place the sliced meat in a frying pan, sear it lightly, and serve it on a plate, very rare, just the way your new friend likes it. You didn't know that's the way she likes it, but you surmise this is what she prefers in a piece of meat, since technically she is the one doing the cooking. You put it on the table in front of her, along with a fork and knife beside it. Your muscles relax as you apparently are allowed to control your own body again. She does nothing except for look at you with a pleased expression. You eye the meat in front of her, then the meat on the counter, and the chair on the other side of the table. What should you do? Prepare a plate for yourself? Is that what she wants you to do? Well, it looks like you're confused. Isn't it obvious what to do next, under your own volition? A good friend would know what to do. In fact, I don't think a good friend would take nearly as long to decide what the right thing to do next is. It actually seems to me that a very rude friend would hesitate for as long as you are hesitating. Or perhaps someone who is not a friend at all. You begin to sweat it again. You clearly don't have much time to make up your mind. If you wait for even a few seconds longer, you will probably be guilty for being a bad friend, maybe even a dreadful one. That's not the type of person you like to think you are. What will you do? I'm gonna go get some water. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Feed her. This feels like the only obvious thing to do. She is looking up at you quite expectantly. You reach for your for the fork with your good arm. You go for the knife with your other. Ow. You can't do it. The arm is much less serviceable when the muscles are not being forced via psychic override to disregard the pain response. Nevertheless, she looks at you patiently and smiles. That's nice of her, you think. Not to be mad about it. You feel like you're growing closer to your new friend by the minute. I feel like I wish to be distancing myself at a rapid pace. You put the fork down and pick up the knife with your good arm. You cut the meat into several pieces with a careful sawing motion. You put the knife down and pick up the fork and stab a piece. You put it close to her mouth. She seems pleased. Very good. Nice technique. Well-sized morsels, too. She chews the meat with excellent form. She has very good table manners, you think. When she finishes the pieces, you slice off some more and continue. The meat looks very good. Your mouth is watering, but she doesn't offer any. Oh well, when it's the right time for you to eat too, you're sure she will let you know. The meal is finished. There is no more meat, except for a few pieces of unchewable gristle, which you did not try to feed her. That would be thoughtless, very bad service. She reclines and steeples her fingers, looking quite pleased with how the evening has gone so far. You aren't sure why she's laughing. Did you do something funny? Oh my! What a fool. You point at yourself, wondering if she's referring to you. You don't know what you've done that was foolish, if so. You're also still not sure what she finds so amusing. Ha 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 ha. Ha. She pauses her laughter for a minute or two, then slowly begins to frown. A faint blue tear rolls down her cheek from her bottom eye. The truth is, I don't even know why I'm laughing. This isn't very funny, what's happening here. It was a good dinner. You did a good job, whoever you are. She puts her face in both of her hands and sobs quietly. You have no idea what to do about this. You stand there, still holding the fork, feeling a bit useless. There is a lot of pressure, you know. Being so respected and admired for your high status in this world, I didn't ask for this, to be superior to so many. Much is expected of you, much is presumed about what your personality will be, therefore, before you even develop one. Oops. You work hard and build a brand based only on what you think people assume you should be like. Sometimes I wonder, am I even that good at being sinister? Could I be more sinister if I tried harder? Maybe this is not my true calling after all. You begin to offer words of sympathy. This all seems heartbreaking to you. Your poor new friend. But your jaw muscles contract and your mouth shuts involuntarily. You guess it's not your turn to speak yet? Okay, that works for you. You like to be a good listener to your friends. But what would happen if I changed my brand? If I stopped being so sinister online? My friends and followers would deride and reject me. And my superiors will eat me alive. If I show weakness, if I scale back on my bloodthirsty content, will I incur the scorn of a wise-ass clown with 100 million subscribers? Will I be in a cage someday listening to a fucking fool honk his horn for likes? No. I must persist. How lonely it is to know this is all I can do until the day I leave this planet. I have no material or sensory comforts left for me here. Until I can get on a ship and fly away, pain is my only solace. Your hand holding the fork grips it tighter. You're horrified to realize what it is in the process of doing. You bring it down on her hand, which is placed flat on the table. She doesn't flinch or react in any way. 3 trails of cerulean blood flow from the tines where they pierce her skin. That wasn't friendly, you think. But then, you weren't the one who did it, were you? You're so confused. My subscribers are not real friends. They adore me only for my sinister content, the show I provide, my wicked, infectious laughter. I get jealous of them sometimes because they get to watch my content. It must be thrilling, I think. But maybe I'm just jealous of them because they get to be people who aren't me. This is fucking deep, I know. Apologies if you cannot relate. She pulls the fork out of her hand and lays it gently on the plate of gristle you didn't feed her. The people downstairs in the cages aren't my friends either. They act like they're my friends, though, and sometimes I even believe it. But they don't really want to be friends with me. Nobody does. The only person who has ever really wanted to be my friend, who's ever tried to be, is you. You clear your throat and point to yourself innocently. That's it. I've decided. You have passed the test. You'll become my friend, officially. As such, I think, a reward is in order. You are overjoyed. Your heart starts racing. You can't believe it. A real new friend. But you don't have much time to enjoy this achievement. Your body is doing something again. You bend down in a strained motion and pick up the plate and fork. You position the plate over your wide-open mouth and scrape in all of the remaining gristle and begin chewing. It's virtually inedible. Your mouth humors the act of chewing for 2 seconds, and then you swallow all of it whole in one painful gulp. Tastes like friendship.
Friendship rig tastes like friendship.
I hope you heard me grip the microphone before pulling it close to my face. For the dramatic effect. I think we're going to, I think we'll speak with the Thief of Hope now. Yes, someone is approaching. A strange, gray-skinned alien with a cozy-looking vest. Perhaps they will make for a good friend. What's up? Oof. Hang on, sorry. I didn't get a good look at you before I started talking. I guess you're really weird-looking. Kind of uncomfortable about this. Your stammering reply eventually conveys that you are a lost traveler who is hungry and probably in need of some medical treatment. You're also really lonely and wouldn't mind making a new friend right about now. Hungry, huh? I see what your game is. You aren't sure what he's talking about. Then your eyes drift towards the obvious target. That exquisite hot dog he's holding. It looks really, really good. Your mouth starts watering noticeably. Oh no. I knew it. You're just like all the rest. Your agenda is to have me relinquish my delicacy. Well, forget it. I've been tricked out of 2 other oblong meat products this week already. I know you probably think this is an easy mark due to my blood color, but I still have some dignity at least. You don't know anything about his blood color, or why that would matter in this conversation about his hot dog. You're hungry, sure, but you didn't mean to cast a threatening gaze at his meal. All you really want to do is make a new buddy, so you don't feel quite so alone in this strange new world. I see. You just want a friend and not my sweet meat. Sorry, I get a little paranoid when I walk around with such delicacies in public. You can't be too careful. Folks tend to get that greedy look in their eyes around my warm sausage. These are odd ways to express the things he's saying, you think, but it would be rude to point that out. Probably best to change the subject. Get this blossoming friendship moving in the right direction. Okay. Obviously, asking to have some of his hot dog is the wrong choice, right? Forget it. I'm leaving forever. Bye. Disrespectful. Oh. I'm basically I made that decision based on the fact that it's Homestuck, basically. And the whole point is to hey, you see those expectations you've got there?
Get rid of them.
Ask if he lives nearby. Yeah, or I used to, I mean. My place was bombed by drones a while ago. Now I don't have a hive, but I'm making it work out here. Foraging for tasty things when I can. I've gotten pretty good at it. Talking people into giving me meat products, I mean. You quickly feel a sense of pity for your new friend. You thought you had it rough, crash landing here, hungry and friendless, and come to think of it, feels like your arm is broken. Your ribs too, maybe. But enough self-pity. This is about making a great new friend. You ask your friend if there's anything you can do to improve his life. Oh wait, are we friends now? Like, is that official? I mean, I don't know. Why don't we, slow it down a bit, see where things go. Not saying it's out of the question, I just think I should take some time to see if you're actually friendship material. Someone I trust, you know? Not just another looky-loo gunning for my delicacy. Oh damn, you got out over your skis again. Of course, he's right. This is totally reasonable. You feel sure you can do what it takes to win him over. You make a mental note to avoid looking at or mentioning his hot dog, since it seems to be such a sensitive subject. You do everything in your power to avert your gaze from the hot dog. You are aggressively not looking at it, in fact. Don't think hot dog thoughts. Don't think hot dog thoughts. It's working. You aren't thinking about hot dogs at all. It's like he isn't even holding one, and no one ever even brought up the fact that hot dogs exist. You seem to notice on some primal level your current non-hot dog mindset. He smiles. You pay closer attention to the boy's face. It's a nice smile he has, actually. Very kind. Disarming. A few freckles here and there, a mop of messy hair draping over his eyes. What a nice friend this would be to have, you think? He's kind of adorable, really, if you disregard the prickly attitude about his hot dog. Okay, wait a minute. You don't want to start thinking thoughts that are too friendly. You should dial this down a little, stick to the basics. You just want a cool new friend, nothing more. You should try to spark up some non-meat related conversation soon, before things get awkward. You wonder about his house. It got bombed? Yeah, you know. Routine drone pass through my hood. A little bombing, a little culling. That's how it goes around here. I was a lucky one. My Lucis, not so much. He's a goner. You don't know what a Lucis is, but you can deduce it has some important value, or it was someone important to him who probably died in the bombing. Rather than overwhelm him with annoying questions about his culture, you decide the right play is to show some sympathy. Thanks. I miss him. Sometimes I think I enjoy savory bun delights as a way of covering up the pain. They're so good though, it's hard to stop. Also, I favored the juicy meats before he died anyway. Something we did together. How did we start talking about my hot dog once more? Let's drop it. Please, dude. Don't bring it up again. You didn't bring it up, but you don't want to correct him. The boy is clearly grieving. You see two faint red tears roll down his cheeks from behind the messy bangs. Your heart can't take it. You have to console this homeless boy somehow. He'll definitely be your friend. But what to do? Give him a friendly pat on the back. You keep it simple, and pat him on the back a couple times. Everything is going to be okay. Since you're his new friend, or at least something toward earning that status, he has a new ally to help him with whatever comes his way. He wipes his tears and appears to get himself back together. Your friendly gesture worked. You're right. I shouldn't let the past get me down. In a way, I'm free. I'm off the grid. They probably think I died. No need to worry about knocks on my door because I don't have a door anymore. Maybe I can live off the land for the rest of my life. I'm scrounging for scrumptious indulgences wherever I may find them, by rummaging through awful drums or smooth-talking the right mark. Sounds like a life, honestly. Or sounds like the life, honestly. I'll miss my Lucius, but I think he would be proud of me. If I can make it without him, if I can survive on my own, I know he would be proud. Maybe I don't even need to leave the planet? Maybe I can avoid taking the ordeals altogether. Can't test you can't find. If I play my cards right, I can probably live to ripe old age on this planet without getting caught. Like hiding in alleyways or alleys and sewers, scraping together just enough succulent proteins to keep myself going. Honestly, I don't even need to get by that long, since I have a much shorter lifespan than most trolls. So I think I might just be able to make this work. You look confused at the last remark, but again, you don't want to be impolite. He holds up his hand as if to tell you not to bother. I can tell you're not from around here, it's okay. Rustbloods don't live a long time. Blood classes higher than me live progressively longer the higher you go up. Sea dwellers basically live forever. It's kind of crazy and seems unfair, but that's how it is. I'd be jealous of them, but I think I'm not. I'm almost grateful. I don't have very long to make it in this world. I don't know what I'd do if I had longer. Allergies. I'm happy to settle a nice short ride, keep a low profile, take in some good meat along the way. Nothing wrong with that life if you ask me. You understand. It seems like a tragic story, but if your friend has made peace with his destiny, you might as well too. You offer a sympathetic shrug and continue your impressive streak of consecutive seconds not looking at his hot dog at all. He smiles again. He seems to be relaxing, gripping the dog a little less tightly. That's good. You know, you're good at listening. Not many people understand me at all. A lot of people find my overly possessive attitude towards meaty delights to be strange and off-putting. I've heard this more than once and lost some friends that way. Whew. There are some past personal dramas I do not want to think about, let me tell you. But you're different. Maybe you put me at ease because it's obvious you're even lower than me? No offense, but you are. Drones would vaporize a hornless goof like you, no questions asked. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. You laugh it off. You're not scared, you say. You've survived worse. You pat your broken ribs and wince. You clutch your sore ribs with your broken arm, and wince even harder because of that. Oh, man. Looks like that arm's hurt, huh? Guess it's broken. Let's see what we can do about that. Here, hold this a second. He hands you his hot dog without hesitation. Oh, wow. He wants you to hold it? This is such a remarkable gesture of trust, you're overwhelmed. You gingerly take the hot dog with your good arm, being very careful. You hold the hot dog from beneath with your fingertips, as if it's a priceless, delicate treasure. He takes off his vest and puts it on the ground, then takes off his shirt. You avert your eyes for a moment, then realize that's silly. Nothing particularly indecent about this, you suppose. If he's comfortable, so are you. He then puts his vest back on, takes the hot dog back from you, and hands you the shirt. Here, make a sling out of it. That should help. He's right. It does help. Your broken arm is a lot more comfortable and secure. This shirt smells like meat, too. You can't tell if you think that's a bonus or if it's weird. You decide it's a bonus. This is your new friend. He loves meat, and so do you. It's your greatest common interest, in fact. Nice. You know, I think we make a pretty good team. I don't know if I'm ready to officially call you my friend yet, but I may be getting close. You're pushing all the right buttons, man. Just being someone who listens and understands. I have no idea how much, you have no idea how much that means to me. You're so happy to hear this. It makes your heart sing. Well, if you're keeping it totally real, some of these things he's saying are just a little strange. Like maybe this boy wasn't really socialized properly? By his Lucis, you guess? You think that might be his dad. But again, you don't dare ask. Not when the positive feelings are flowing like this. Why kill the mood? He gets a little closer and swoops a hand through his thick black bangs. For the briefest moment, you catch a glimpse of one of his eyes, regarding you fondly. Your heart beats a little faster. He puts a hand on your shoulder. You're starting to wonder if all he's interested in is friendship. You hope that's all he wants. You don't think you're ready for anything more than that. You're desperate for friendship, or really companionship of any sort, but that's moving pretty fast for you. But you're too nervous to make your feelings clear on all this. If he goes any further, you're not sure if you'll have the will to protest. Listen, dude, this gorgeous meat product we both admire, I'm thinking maybe we share it. I think that sounds pretty good, actually. Oh my, yes, that sounds wonderful. You're so hungry. And you're beside yourself with gratitude that Demon is willing to share with you something so precious to him. It really means a lot. Here, I have an idea. He brings his face close to yours. He holds the hot dog between your faces, with both ends of the dog pointing to his mouth and yours. You're not sure what he wants you to do. You can't find the breath to ask. It seems like he wants you to eat the hot dog with the champ's mouth. Yes, if pressed on it, you'd agree that the act is uncomfortably erotic. But you have to admit it is a good way to share a food item whilst ensuring it gets split about evenly. And you absolutely loathe the idea of letting a friend down. It's completely at odds with your values as a person. You chomp down on your end of the hot dog, as he does with his, and simultaneously. Holy shit, that is so good. You take another bite, and he times his bite perfectly. He's eerily good at this game. It's throwing off your chewing a bit, which makes you cough a little when you swallow. But you don't feel like you can pause without breaking eating rhythm with him. Might be what a bad friend would do. You keep going without really quite swallowing as you go. You get closer to his face, which is creating an imminent situation you aren't sure how you're going to handle. You haven't planned for it, and it's coming up fast. The hot dog backlog collecting in your throat is getting a bit too heavy, so you try to swallow, but you can't. You gag, and cough up all the chewed hot dog matter explosively into his face. He recoils, absolutely stunned. His bangs are blown back, and he is staring at you with wide eyes. Hot dog and bun bits are all over his face. He says nothing for a moment, then puts his hand to his throat. Oh fuck, he's choking. He points at his mouth desperately. You need to do something. Heimlich, of course. That's what you need to do. You need to save your friend's life. You get behind him and put your arm around his belly and form a fist. You plunge the fist in under his ribs, trying to dislodge his masticated delicacy. It's of no use. You can't get any leverage. You need your other arm. It really hurts, though. You'll have to make the sacrifice for your friend. Yes, a friend who may have just tried to trick you into kissing him with a silly hot dog stunt? You're not sure how you'll navigate that tricky subject once he's breathing again, but you'll deal with that later. Right now, you have a life to save. You pull your broken out arm out of its sling and grab your other fist in front of his belly and squeeze. You try and try and try. His face is turning, well, not blue. Deep red? You guess because his blood is rust-colored. Sure, that makes sense. You yank one more time, your broken arm throbbing in pain. A huge gob of chewed hot dog launches out of his mouth like a cannonball, and the expulsion creates enough force in the other direction. It causes you to actually lift him up in the air and accidentally suplex him into the mud behind you. You, in turn, go tumbling over him, and the two of you are soon locked into an inseparable pinwheel of interspecies downhill mayhem. You roll and roll down the grassy incline toward a nearby neighborhood, toward a street. Luckily, you stop just short of the street, but Demon's neck lands right on the sharp edge of the curb, and after flipping into the air once or twice, you come down right on his face with your big ass. You hear a crack. Demon? You slap his cheek a little. No response. He's not breathing. You check his mouth, throat is clear of hot dog debris. Oh god. This can't be happening. You look around, panicked. This isn't what you need right now. All you wanted was a friend. You can't be held responsible for alien murder. You have to hide the body. You see a couple kids creeping out of a nearby house to see what all the commotion is. There's no time. You've got to find a bush or something. There, over there. Looks like a little alien bushy thing. It's pretty small, but it'll have to do. You drag the vested shirtless carcass over to the bush. You dump the body in the bush and it's really not convincing. It looks like a dead kid was unceremoniously dropped on top of a small bush in a poor attempt to conceal a murder. You've got to come up with a better... Wait a minute. Someone is standing behind you. Hello, stranger. Don't worry about this little mess you've made. I'll take care of it for you. You killed him. Well, that happened. Okay. Because I gave him a friendly pat on the back. Of course I'm supposed to go with the reassuring hug. You open your arms and approach him with a posture of great compassion. You furrow your brow upwardly a bit, as if to say, I know how hard it is. You advance and he leans backwards a little, as if caught off guard by your sympathy. Maybe you're coming off too strong, but you know there's no turning back now. You don't just throw the brakes on an imminent heartfelt hug like this. You would embrace him awkwardly, and it goes well for a moment until you realize your arm is broken and it seizes up reflexively in pain. It jostles the hot dog in his hand and he bobbles it. You both gasp. You try to detach from the hug so you can catch the dog, but it's already on the way to the ground. In your attempt to save it, you stagger backwards and slip. The hot dog gets smushed onto your big dumb ass the moment it makes contact with the ground. Demon lets out a shriek. No! Aw, dude, my dog! You scramble to get up in time, hoping you're not as owned as it looks, but your feet keep slipping and your butt keeps grinding the hot dog into the mud. When the carnage finally subsides, you roll over and check it out. It's completely unsalvageable. Just a gross, meaty mud mash, like the hot dog never even existed. Diamond howls in agony and slumps backwards against a tree. Oh no. You fucked this up bad. That's it, man. I've lost everything. I'm not sure what the point of even living is anymore. You are absolutely mortified by your clumsiness and foolishness. You have a feeling you'll be thinking about this moment for years to come, during those insecure moments when your mind seems to be looking for any excuse to make yourself cringe with self-doubt and shame. Still, you can't help but feel this guy is being a little unreasonable. It's just one hot dog. There are probably plenty more of those to come by for those who know where to look in this strange world. He himself said he makes a habit of enjoying these. They can't be all that uncommon. Maybe he just has an unusual psychological disorder surrounding a fixation on this particular food item. Yes, that could be it. Poor guy. This just means he needs your support as a friend all the more. You won't give up on your friends, or for that matter, people who are trying to desperately become friends with, or who you're desperately trying to become friends with. That just isn't who you are as a person. You have an idea. You run it by him with a sense of optimism and salesmanship. The past is behind you. There is no need to wallow in self-incrimination and guilt over the hot dog incident. Damon perks up a little. You want to help me get another hot dog? Absolutely. It could be a fun adventure, you say. Something to bond over, to bring two new buddies closer together. Okay, don't say that out loud, but you really hope it's true. I don't know. Could be a long shot. Sometimes it can be days before I am united with another plump treat. Glistening with perspiration. Steaming, relaxing comfortably in a soft, melt-in-your-mouth loaf. Damn. Now I really want a hot dog. I just don't have much choice but to take you up on your offer, do I? What do you have in mind? It's a good question. You haven't made a plan yet, and frankly, don't even know where to begin. But he's interested in spending more time with you, which is the most important thing. You'll figure something out. You decide a display of confidence is called for here. A real show of leadership to improve morale. You smile, hold your head up high, and tell him to follow you. You know exactly what to do. Well, not really, but you give no indication of that at all. He's definitely intrigued. You've got him hooked now, you think. He's probably wondering if he hit pay dirt, finding a new friend with the hot dog hookup. Of course, you don't have the slightest idea where to find a hot dog, but you've got to admit, you're enjoying the feeling of being important and valued by a potential friend. You don't want to do anything underhanded, yet you can't help but feel you should probably milk this social gambit for all it's worth. This way, you say, as you begin marching confidently in a random direction. He obediently follows and begins rubbing his tummy. You begin to feel nervous, almost immediately. You have absolutely no idea how this is going to play out or if it stands any chance of resulting in a hot dog at the end of the journey. Oh well, you'll figure something out along the way. You lead him through streets and winding through the yards of strange-looking houses, and he follows. He takes care to make sure you both are not seen, which could get you both into trouble, apparently. The improvised circuitous route appears to provoke his suspicion. Dude, are you sure you know where a dog is? It seems like maybe you're lost. Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely sure you know where to find one, you say. You're just throwing anyone off the trail who might have been following you. He nods solemnly, as if that makes perfect sense. But you can't keep him guessing like this forever. You've got to do something, like some bold action to keep his interest in this wiener quest. You say this way, down here. This is a shortcut to the hot dog supply you're privy to. It's the mother lode. In the sewer? Yes, totally. It's just a short trek through the sewer. Shouldn't be more than another hour, or several of sewer trudging. That is, if he still has the will to do what it takes to get his hands on more juicy dogs. Oh, hell yeah! You know it! After you, man. An hour later, you're so deep in the sewer, you've lost all bearings and sense of direction. You could be anywhere by now. You've taken so many crazy turns. Still, you don't let up for a second, then you're lost. You've made each turn with decisive conviction. He's still following you. But now he's having trouble keeping up. He's out of breath and struggling with the foul smell. Can't say you're enjoying it much either. But you can't let on to the fact that that what you're doing now is anything other than the most casual routine for you. like you do this every other day, just a quick jaunt to the sewer to build up this vast mythical trove of meat products. Okay, when you put it that way, maybe this sounds a bit insane. Still, you're in too deep to second guess yourself now. Hey, I gotta stop and rest. I can't lie, I'm starving for a heavenly Frankfurter. This might be too much for me. I don't think I'm cut out for this. You pause and look back. He's sitting down now, slumping against a filthy sewer wall. You're intensely relieved to see you may have just won this impromptu game of sewer hot dog chicken. But more importantly than that, this looks like an ideal time to show some sympathy. You have a bonding moment with your would-be friend. You sit next to him, and with your broken arm, put a hand on his knee in a platonic but deeply understanding way. Your arm hurts when you do this, but it's worth it. Every little gesture counts when making a new friend. I kinda suck. My looseness is gone. I don't have any skills, and most people think I'm weird for liking hot dogs so much. I'm probably just going to get cold. I'm not good at going on adventures or doing anything hard. All I'm good at is finding an easy meal here and there, wherever I can get, or however I can get it. I like talking people out of their fine sausages using tricks or other ploys which end up losing me friends. It's been unthinkable that anyone would actually do anything nice for me, would want to have that sweet, sweet meat I desire. Or want me to have, sorry. At least it was unthinkable until now. Your heart begins to race. Could it be? Is this shitty improvised sewer escapade actually working? You can't believe it. Nobody's ever done so much or worked so hard to try to get my hands on another magnificent banger. Sorry for being emotional, but like, this is new for me. I don't know how to handle it. I'm just so grateful. I'd be thrilled to call you a friend, man. Whatever you are. You're overjoyed. Unbelievable. It's almost too good to be true. What now? It's such a sudden turn of good fortune, you hardly know what to do. Should you hug the guy? Last time that didn't go so well, but this time he's not holding a hot dog for you to clumsily defile. So maybe this is your moment. Wait. What's that? A deep rumbling sound begins to echo through the tunnels. Oh shit. They found us. It's a drone, dude. I guess like on sewer duty? Sewer duty. We gotta run! He gets up, grabs your hand, and sprints. He's a lot faster than he looks when motivated to get moving. He turns this way and that as the rumbling gets closer. But he slips on something, and you both tumble into a river of horrific sludge. Bro! I can't swim! Help! Your bad arm finds purchase on the ledge, and though it's very painful, you heroically salvage your friend from the muck with the other arm. He coughs and gasps for breath. You find a nearby ladder, shove him upward until he starts climbing on his own, and follow him. You burst through a lid on the floor, and you both flop out of the hole, drenched in filth, smelling horrible, and completely exhausted. But at least you're safe, you think. Hey man, I just want you to know, even though we didn't find the glorious treasure you were leading us to, I'm happy how it all turned out. Maybe I don't need hot dogs in my life as much as I thought. Maybe that's not the real treasure after all. It's been a journey for me, let me tell you. I'm learning so much about myself, about life, because of you. His bushy hair is slicked back from his eyes due to the sludge. He's giving you a penetrating, soulful gaze of presumably pure friendship. Or is it even deeper than that? Wow, this is intense. Then something catches your eye, just above him. Something dangling. Lots of dangling things, actually. Come to think of it, it's really cold in here. Freezing, in fact. You finally realize, holy shit, you're in a weird alien meat locker. You're absolutely surrounded by dangling meat products, including many sausages. Thousands of them. You begin to sob. Your sobbing soon turns to unrestrained wailing of raw catharsis. He joins you, and the tears flow freely from you both. You embrace each other and let it all out. Suddenly it hits you. Both of you. This is by far the happiest day of your life. Meat heaven. Okay. You stumble through the streets of a strange... Oh, actually, I gotta take something. Hold on. Be right back. You love friend sims. They are so brilliant. You want to be in meat heaven? Yeah. Friend sims are really blowing dating sims out of the water right now. Oh. Ever since you crash landed on this hostile planet, you have been desperate. Desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly for a bit of medical attention. Along the way, you've had some laughs, embarrassing missteps, and maybe even an encounter with alien meat products. You really don't want to get into it. What you do want to get into is friendship. An entire planet of endless friend opportunities awaits you. Honestly, at this point, you'd make friends with one of those weird purple bushes. You're not picky. Wait, you see something in the distance. Or perhaps someone. Well, let's go with Amusia. Lo, what light breaks what light yonder? What light through yonder weirdly organic architecture breaks? A small figure approaches.
Oh. Oh my gosh. You are so...
So far, you've swallowed quite a few insults in regards to your looks and intelligence level. You aren't really the type to let the shallow opinions of others get you down, but it's been kind of a rough day. You brace yourself.
Cute!
Oh. Oh! She gives you a sweet, sincere smile.
I've never seen anything like you. It's giving me all sorts of new ideas.
Boy, do you hope some of these ideas about you are friendship. Now that you've got a taste of it, you are hungry for more. You take a stumbling step forward, and your ribs remind you that although the potential of camaraderie is enough to improve your mental health, it can't cure acute injuries.
Oh, you don't look so good. Come inside. I've been looking for new contributors.
Contributors? Could she mean friendship? No, that's dumb. Maybe she runs some sort of alien newspaper and she wants you on staff? She looks a little young for that, but what the heck do you know about alien management hierarchy? You follow her to a nearby building, and now that you're looking up from your ravenous hunt for companionship, you notice that you've wandered into kind of an upscale part of town. There's a lot less garbage, and people collapsed in the street. You see one of those spiky robot things, but it's washing a window instead of shooting a laser at a group of children. If that's not high class, you don't know what is. Before you can follow her inside, she turns around in the threshold, blocking your way.
Real quick. You don't happen to be an artist, do you?
Artistry? Well, as a matter of fact... Tell her no, you've never had much of a knack for it.
Oh, good. Friendships between artists can be so fraught. Much better to just keep things between artists and art appreciators. That way, no one can get jealous.
The girl's smile widens even further, and you feel an unbelievable rush of joy. Have you finally found someone who isn't a total fucking maniac? And she brought up friendship without you having to mention it at all. It puts a spring in your step, or as much of a spring as possible with a broken arm and misaligned torso. Amicia leads you into an elevator with buttons labeled in spiky letters. That make absolutely no sense to you. You realize that probably nothing is ever going to make sense to you again. That's okay. Your hierarchy of needs has adjusted recently. Your new friend, you are jumping the gun with this descriptor, but you are feeling seriously good about this encounter, stands in the corner of the elevator, wringing her claws.
I wish I'd known I was going to have some company. I would have cleaned up a little. It's been a while since I've met anyone new.
You assure her that whatever disaster her house is, it can't be any worse than some other places you've seen here. Although, you kind of get what she means. She's wearing an artist's smock that's covered in splashes of paint. Actually, it doesn't really look like paint, but it couldn't be anything else, could it? It's every color of the rainbow. The elevator slides open, and you step into a space that you are relieved to find is totally recognizable. A table of overflows with messy palettes and brushes, cloudy jars of water and sponges, several easels stand beside the windows to catch the light of the two moons, and a number of canvases lean against the wall, turned so you can't see what's on them.
First things first.
Amicia brings you over to a wall screen that looks way more high-tech than anything you have on your now-defunct spaceship, tapping away at a series of unreadable symbols. Then she indicates you should take off your sling.
Here. Go ahead and stick it in here. Or stick it in there.
She seems to want you to put your injured arm into a large hole in the wall, which you do because you are sure your new friend has your best interests at heart. The hole shrinks down like a blood pressure cuff, sending bolts of agony through you.
You want to yank your arm back, but you don't. Even if it's broken, you still like having it attached to you. Instead, you shout a lot and thrash your other limbs around. Calm down, you big wriggler. It's not like you have never seen a medicalizer before. Or it's like you've never seen a medicalizer before. If you don't stop moving, it won't work. Tears spill down your cheeks, but you force yourself still. You'll bear the pain. You'll do it for your friend. She's looking at you so hopefully, and she's so delicate and pretty, almost angelic. You look at her face and tell yourself it's all going to be okay. Finally, the hole releases you and you pull your arm back to find it completely healed. You can move your fingers. It doesn't even hurt anymore. Hey, things are looking up. See? I told you. This is great. You are overwhelmed with the urge to celebrate. Hold on. Allergies. Get excited and dance your new friend around the room. You try to resist the urge to celebrate. You fail to resist the urge. You take Amicia by her tiny hands and twirl her around the studio, or you try to. You forgot about your busted ribs. You sure are doing that a lot. You let go of Amicia and go careening into one of the tables. Thankfully, not the one covered in art supplies. You hit the counter and go down onto your already incredibly sore ass. This is what you get for acting like a huge fucking tool in front of your new friend. Are you okay? Was that some sort of ritualistic rite of healing I've never heard of before? You shrug against the floor. Amicia leans down and picks you up in a bridal carry, despite the fact that she's about half your size. It makes your ribs hurt, but what doesn't nowadays? Amicia lays you down on a weird lumpy couch. Are you sure you were okay? You look a little... She trails off to nothing. She's looking at your left arm, which you have draped over yourself awkwardly, to sort of try to hold your torso together. That color... At first you think she means the color of your skin, which is different than her light gray. Then you think she means the truly fantastic buffet of bruises you got going on. But then, you realize that in your prancing idiocy, you've managed to scrape up the inside of your arm. Blood oozes sluggishly from the wound. Amicia dredges a finger through it. You're half expecting her to put it in her mouth and for this to become a whole cannibal situation. Well, since you aren't the same species, it wouldn't really be cannibalism, but still, no thanks. Instead, Amicia holds her finger up, the drop of blood trembling on the tip. This color. I've never seen anything like it. She dashes off to one of her tables, pulling over a sketchbook and dragging her finger down it. Your blood paints a rusty line down the center. She lets out a little squeak of excitement. This is amazing! What? Red? Not red. There's a million dirty little rusties swarming all over this city. I'm drowning in red. This is crimson. It's incredible. You must be some sort of mutant. You're really lucky I found you instead of one of the drones. Lucky? You? Yes, very lucky. The luckiest. Though your arm is healed and you're out of whatever doubtlessly weird weather happens to be on this planet, Amicia's right. Maybe you are lucky. You close your eyes and try to breathe. Zen yourself out. Really center yourself in your own body and all that garbage. Then you open your eyes and wow, you sure aren't centered anymore. In fact, you roll completely to the left as you try to get away from Amicia, who is back and standing over you with a gigantic axe. Watch out! Amicia grabs you, drags you back onto the couch, and plants her hand on your solar plexus, effectively pinning you down. You'll hurt yourself if you keep flopping around like a beached blubber beast. You want to be friends, don't you? You want to help me with my artistic aspirations, right?
You get the feeling that she might be trying to manipulate you. Just the tiniest little suspicion. It's possible Amesia has recognized your intense craving for companionship and is trying to exploit it. You don't like being suspicious of a new friend, but that is a pretty big axe.
I don't know what's got you so worried. I just want to show you my axe.
Oh, of course. Makes sense. It is a really nice axe. You hold out your hand for it, but of course it is too heavy for you and your hands are all sweaty and you fumble it. Fumble the really sharp weapon. Amesia tries to catch it before it's too late, and somehow in all of the wriggly struggle you end up getting cut. Like very cut. Across both your wrists. In fact, you don't think she could have aimed even better if she'd been trying.
Oh dear.
Hard agree.
Don't struggle. You'll only hurt yourself more, silly. You don't want that, do you?
No, you definitely don't want that. Not after what a Butterfingers you've proven to be. Amesia gets up to put the axe down, and you kind of lose track of her for a little while. You are bleeding all over her couch, and everything around you starts to go shiny and unreal. She comes back with a couple little jars that she uses to catch your blood. That's a good idea. You sure are making a mess. You wonder if they are specifically blood jars. They look like jam jars. Alien Jam. Space Jam. God, you love that movie. It's been so long since you've seen it. Definitely the best PG movie about basketball. Way better than the one with the dog and the clown. Do they even have basketball here? You ask Amesia. She just shushes you and brushes your hair back off your forehead. She keeps smiling and saying comforting things. God, she's such a good friend. Before too long, you do what's honestly a goddamn shock you haven't done before now. You pass out. When you come to, you are propped up against the wall in a weird way that you wouldn't love even if you weren't an invalid, and both of your arms are jammed in the hole in the wall. The med hole. The glory hole of well-being. The magic sphincter. You grunt and pull your arms back out. They're healed. The cuts on your wrists are just two faded pink lines. You take a step away from the wall and immediately hit the ground. You may not be actively dying anymore, but you did just lose like half the blood in your body. Gosh, you're tired. A little giggle makes you turn around or roll over since you are still on the floor and probably not getting up anytime soon. It's fine. You've met worse floors in your life. Amesia is sitting at one of her easels, her hair pulled back beneath a scarf and little round glasses perched on her nose. A jar of your blood sits next to her, and as you watch, she dips a brush. As you watch, she dips a brush in.
I'm glad you're awake. I was a little worried I'd actually killed you back there.
She laughs, and you laugh along with her. It's very funny. Actually, everything is funny right now. It's probably the blood loss. You ask her what she's painting.
You, of course. You inspired me.
Well, right now it just looks like a bunch of red squiggles and some lines, but she only just got started. She's warming up. She sits there on her stool, looking at her palette and chewing on her lip thoughtfully. She looks somewhat nervous.
Actually, I want to show you something. I've never shown anyone else.
She leaps up from her stool and crosses the studio. You roll to your other side to keep her in your line of sight. You really hope she isn't getting another Space Jam jar. She starts turning around the canvases one by one. They're all blank, except for one, which has a little... Wait, no, that's just a shadow. Every single one of them is blank. You aren't sure you understand. You ask her if these are all just new canvases that she has not gotten the chance to paint on yet. Amesia sighs.
No, I've had them forever. Or for forever. I'm just not a real painter. There, I said it.
She buries her face into her hands, talking from between her fingers.
I'm really good at all the other parts, the materials in the studio. I even make all my own paints. I just can never do the actual sitting down and doing art part. She looks so despondent. You wish you could do something, but you don't really know that much yet about art, or that much about art, and you probably can't stand up yet. You tell her that she looks like she's moving in the right direction, at least. You don't even have a studio, or any brushes or stuff like that. Of course, you have no aspirations to being a painter, but you leave that part out. That's just it. I feel inspired for the first time ever. I think it has to be your messed up, disgusting mutant blood. There's really no other explanation. She takes a knee beside you, picking up one of your limp hands with hers. They're cold, like she's been pressing them to a glass window in winter. Usually I'd just finish off my contributors quickly. I don't have time to deal with a bunch of injured low-bloods moaning around my studio, but I couldn't just use your blood up all at once, or all at once. Blood up all at once. You're far too special for that. You gaze at Amicia. A mist has descended over your vision, and it isn't even the mist of imminent death. I have to keep this precious blood safe. I think you might be my muse.
Oh. You will never escape. Is that the happy ending? Is that the good ending? Did I just accidentally stumble through the correct ending for God, what is she? Hold on. Me and fucking blue bloods, man, I tell you. Like blue, not cobalt, cerulean blue, like straight blue. Hold on. Which one is she? She's not the voidy type. She's that one. Mind. Prospit Mind. Oh. I'm serious. Me and blue bloods, man. But I mean that explains her lack of inspiration. She just can't inspire. She's a mind. She's a mind. She is a player of mind. Now do the bad end. But I got the good end. All right, hold on. Tell her, yeah, it isn't exactly your whole deal, but you've been known to dabble.
Oh, I see how it is. Well, you aren't going to snake rid my trades or any trade secrets out of me. Goodbye.
You completely blew it. Be chill about it. You thank Amicia profusely, but you manage to keep it to the strictly verbal sort. Medicalizers are great. This part of the city is great. You really need to get more rich friends. You tell her this, throwing in a compliment of her studio while you're at it. See, this friendship stuff is easy.
I'm glad you feel that way. You're obviously really strange and under-socialized, but you don't seem to be a complete cultural idiot. Plus, I think it's really endearing how helpless and trusting you are.
You laugh, slightly unnerved. You want to take that as a compliment, but after a recent encounter with another girl in blue, well, it all ended up okay, and Amicia is so nice and friendly, and she keeps calling you cute, which you think is pretty generous of her considering what a disgusting mess you are at this point.
Speaking of low bloods, what's your blood color? Just out of curiosity.
Blood color? You aren't really sure what she's talking about, but red? You tell her it's red. She looks a little disappointed.
I've got plenty of burgundy. Oh well. Good thing I have a delivery coming soon. Hey, do you think you can help me set a few things up before they get here?
They? Visitors? As in plural? As in multiple potential friends? Oh, hell yes. You are all over that, especially considering your newly healed arm. You are anxious to display all of the simple motor functions you can perform. Amicia gives you another radiant smile. You live for those smiles, man. They are just so full of the glowing nectar of bromance.
Perfect. Let's do this. Work always goes faster with 2 pairs of hands, after all.
Yes, absolutely it does. And even if by that she meant, she seems to mean her hands are pointing. And even if by that she seems to mean her hands are pointing while she tells you where to put things, you're totally fine with that. Your ribs are still kind of killing you, but you swallow down the pain. You are getting pretty good at that. Too bad you can't stick your whole torso into that magical science fiction hole in the wall. Well, maybe you could, but not right now. Right now you've got a friend to help. Amicia instructs you to clear all the furniture to the edges of the room and lay down a big purple tarp. Apparently tarps aren't blue on this planet. Amicia answers her phone and then buzzes open the apartment door. She runs over to the elevator with a squeal of delight.
They're here! Sorry, I'm getting so giggly about this. It's just been a while since I've had any new paints.
Wait, paints? That's what's coming? Now that you think about it, there is something pretty crucial missing from this whole artist aesthetic she's got going here. There aren't any paints. No tubes dribbling color, or pots with their tops left partially unscrewed. There aren't even any pencils. The elevator opens and 2 trolls come in. They have pretty similar shaped horns and are almost the exact same height. Brothers? Do trolls have brothers? From their uniforms and the douchey, swaggering way they walk, you get the idea that they are some sort of law enforcement. That and the third troll in handcuffs they are dragging between them.
Thank you, guys. You always bring me the best materials.
They don't say anything. They just bring the 3rd troll to the center of the tarp and force them into a kneeling position. Then they bow to Amicia and leave the way they came. This doesn't look great. Even before Amicia runs out of the room and comes back with an axe the size of her whole body, you are not loving this. The troll on the tarp trembles and bites back a sob, but they don't say anything or try to run. She isn't really going to do what it looks like, is she? You can't bring yourself to believe that this cute little alien girl is going to straight up axe murder a dude right in front of you, presumably to finger paint with their blood. You stammer something to this effect. Amicia laughs. Well, I don't use my fingers. I'm not a fucking animal. She considers you for a few moments, tapping it. Hey, Amicia, how dare! Calling high bloods animals. That wouldn't that get you like in trouble and shit? High bloods do lots of finger painting. You can't do that. You can't say that. Wow, how rude. She considers you for a few moments, tapping a claw against her mouth. I know. You can help me. I only ever let one person help with my work, and she's out of town right now. But you and I have a connection. You feel it too, right? You do. God, you do. You've been feeling it so much lately. For everyone you meet, you thought you had maybe come across someone who would readily accept your platonic longings without putting you through the ringer first. You do want to help me, don't you? You do. You want that more than anything. Amicia looks at you solemnly. Why don't you do the honors? She holds out her axe. I wouldn't offer this to just anyone, but I can tell how special you are. You're trembling. The troll on the tarp is also trembling, but unlike you, they seem to have accepted their fate. Slowly, inevitably, you hold out your hand for the axe. Amicia gives it to you with a smile.
God damn it, you forgot about your broken ribs. And that you're a human and can't just pick up gigantic fucking axes with one hand. You drop it and it bounces away from you, like way more than you think an axe should probably bounce. You look at Amicia from where you are, doubled over with pain and shame. She laughs and scampers over to retrieve the axe, once again swinging it up without any signs of strain. She doesn't even have any visible muscles. What is this girl made out of? Fucking blue blood. How silly of me. You seem so culturally advanced that for a second I forgot about your natural inferiority. Here, I'll give you a second chance. You nod. Yes, please. A second chance that does not include committing gruesome murder. Usually, I just use chains. But I've got a better idea. Oh. Oh, God. You get what she wants you to do. You hesitate, and Amicia's smile gets even sweeter. Sweet like poison. Oh? You don't want to help me? Or you don't want to help me? The tarp crinkles underneath you as you kneel. You grasp the troll's shoulders and mumble an apology. They continue to say nothing. Amicia is sharpening her axe, which already looks pretty damn sharp. Hold on tight. You try, you really do. The problem is, you try to hold on tight, but at the same time you try to drag the troll out of the way, some buried instinct to try to preserve life rising up inside you. You're weak and injured though, so all you end up doing is just flopping both of you a little to the side. Instead of coming down on the neck in a clean slice, Amicia's axe glances off the troll's collarbone, mortally wounding them instead of killing them outright. And now you know why they have not been begging for their life. They don't have a tongue, so they can't beg. But they sure can yell, and thrash, and bleed olive green blood all over you and the tarp. God, there's so much blood. It's just spurting everywhere. Jesus Christ, you are such an idiot. Why couldn't you just commit? Now you're covered in dying alien, and so is everything else. Amicia, the work table, and most direly, the canvas is leaning against the wall. Amicia takes one look at them and lets out a wail of rage. I can't believe this! I let you into my hive, into my life. I was planning to let you into my pusher. I thought you were a refined sophisticate, but now I see you're just a Philistine. She gives you a shove toward the elevator. Your ribs are screaming, and so is the bleeding troll. You try to babble an explanation. Forget it. I don't want to hear your excuses. Chahut was right. If you want someone killed right, you have to kill them yourselves. You ride the elevator back down, kneeling in a pool of blood and failure. Terrible at murder. Ah yes, Chahut, the Maenad. The direct reference to the high blood cult's Dionysian roots. Sarava Hermod. You know, something about the name Hermod is making me think. Hold on a second. Anyway. Yes, a potential new friend approaches, and they almost look as messed up as you are. Whoa, what the fuck, Lamau? Are you an alien? You nod enthusiastically. You sure hope your prospective new friend is comfortable with extraterrestrials. Things could get pretty awkward otherwise. You should really, not be outside, Lamau. Freaks like you will get picked off by drones in a hot second. No offense, Lamau. You don't like the sound of being picked off by drones. That would really inhibit your companionship plans.
You hastily explain to this strange one-eyed troll that you crash-landed on this planet and are in desperate search of friendship. Your plight seems to move them. Well, shit. If you really don't have anywhere to be... I promised myself I wouldn't do anything risky. But what the hell? Come with me. Name's Sarava, by the way. You follow Sarava down a twisting stretch of road. Wow, this is going great already. You bet you'll have a new friend in no time. Alright, here's my hive. You can hide out here for now. I got a lot of followers who are pretty into aliens. They might get a kick out of this, Lamau. You look around Sarava's hive in awe. They sure seem to have a batshit crazy taste in home decor. Checking out my aesthetic? I worked pretty hard putting this place together. It's all about the look and the BG when you're streaming, Lamau. Don't want my fans to think I live in a fucking dump and spend most of my days depressed and crying. You like Moisture Wave? What the fuck is a Moisture Wave? Seriously? You don't even know Moisture Wave or no Moisture Wave I like? I can't really see why you would want to be friends with me, Lamau. 'Cause, to be honest, I don't even know how to explain it to you. You just have to, like, get it. Sarava considers you for a long moment. Actually, yeah. This isn't gonna work out. Get out of my hive. Damn. Moisture Wave. Moisture Wave. Like Synthwave? Retro Wave? Now Moisture Wave. You like Moisture Wave? Oh yeah, I love it. You have no idea what the hell a Moisture Wave is, but you don't want to offend your new friend. You tell them you love it. Word. I'm actually streaming some chill beats as we speak. Check it. They gesture towards their strangely bulbous alien computer. On the screen is a GrubTube channel. Or GrubTube. Lo-fi, aesthetic, incubated beats. Wow. They sure have a lot of subscribers. You ask them if they drew that very nice anime girl they're using as the splash art. Nah, I just ripped off some Eastern Eternian movie and recolored it to look like me. Fucking nailed it, Lamau. You nod vigorously. This is very impressive. Yeah, I'm kind of a big fucking deal online. I built up my own streaming empire, worked my ass off, Lamau. Nursed these beats to health from tragically ill sample loops. It's not all fun and games, though. The life of a popular online guy, you can't even imagine the hardships I've gone through. All in the name of lo-fi chill pop aesthetic Moisture Wave beats. This shit keeps me up at night. Sarava looks into the middle distance pensively, their one eye filled with poignant emotion. You never knew the life of a streamer could be so vaguely filled with torment. You move to cry a single tear. Yeah, you get it. You're really vibing on my emotional frequency, my dude. You know you gotta suffer for popularity. You nod enthusiastically. You don't think you've ever been particularly popular, but you're very good at suffering. This is going great. Sigh. I wish I could say more. Really get all this emotionally vulnerable and share my tragic backstory. But ever since the incident, it's been so hard to trust new people, Lamau. You feel me? The incident? This is so tantalizing. You just know that if you want to make a new friend, you're going to have to get them to confess their deepest insecurities and embarrassing secrets to you. That is how friendship works. You place a sympathetic hand on Sarava's shoulder. You know what, dude? You really want to be friends? Yes. Yes! Can't believe how pain-free and easy this experience has been. What a wonderful new friend you're about to make. You can practically feel the future bro embraces you two will surely share. They feel good. They feel right. You sure are eager. But like, if we're gonna be friends, we have got to work on your look. Your aesthetic is basically hot garbage right now, Lamau. My followers can't see me hanging out with a fucking rando like this. I'm sure you understand. You aren't quite sure you follow. What's wrong with your look? You've always thought you had a simplistic charm, a face you could put on a logo. You're not sure if you're ready to change up the tried and true classics for this newfangled teen. But you are so thirsty for Sarava's sweet friendship nectar, you need to taste it. You have to taste it. With a friend like them, you could really go places. You could be someone. You could finally be down with the hip youth of today. You tell Sarava you're willing to try anything to get into the esteemed ranks of their friend list. Well, damn. Hold up, I've got an idea, Lamel. Follow me. Sarava leads you up the winding stairs of their hive. Lining the walls are pictures of Sarava in strange poses in several different locations. They are surrounded by a few trolls you don't recognize in similar silly fashions. Fellow members of the Moisture Wave community. I really gotta take that shit down. They're all dead to me, Lamau. You want to ask if they mean that literally or not? You never know with trolls, but you keep your mouth shut. Best not to offend your new friend. Let's just move on and never speak of this again. Sarava leads you into a fairly large loft bedroom. This room is a bit less ostentatious than the streaming area downstairs. Well, here we are, Lamau. Welcome to my respite block. We're gonna get you hooked up, Lamau. If you're gonna be my new friend, you gotta look the part. For streams and stuff, you know? We'll have to make you a Chitter account, too. It's good for my image to have friends, Lamau. The pickings have been pretty slim ever since the incident. On that ominous note, Sarava presses a button on the wall, and a large door opens to reveal an expansive walk-in closet filled with colorful accessories and clothes. It looks like a regular batshit neon shirt apocalypse. We have all... Well, have at it. Unless you want me to help you pick out a look, Lamau. You admit you have no idea how to dress yourself. You could really use some expert advice from a teen. Oh shit. Cue the makeover sequence, bitch. I'm gonna make you look aesthetic as fuck, Lamau. You stand in the center of Sarava's closet for a good hour as they go back and forth between various fashion items. Man, this troll is really indecisive. You think you're gonna go blind from all the neon in here. Okay. I'm done, Lamau. That was surprisingly hard. You have a hard-to-dress body, Lamau. Just in general, you're kind of fucked up looking, to be honest. Just chill, though. Because now you look fly as hell. Look at yourself in the mirror. Wow! Radical! Neato! Hold on. Really quickly, I want to check up on, Iconic. Now we just gotta get you set up in the social medias, my dude. But first, selfie time, Lamau. You take a variety of cool selfies with Sarava. Wow, this is really going well. Alright, just post these and promo you. You'll be internet famous in no time. Then we can finally be friends, Lamau. That's what it's all about, baby. That's what you've been working toward this entire time. Sarava's friendship is so close you can smell it. It smells pretty dank. Seems like people are really into you. Check it out. It's true. The likes and comments and subscriptions are just rolling in. Huh. At this rate, you'll be more popular than me. You assure Sarava that this will definitely never happen, and all you truly deserve is friendship, not fans. That's what they all say. All my so-called friends. They were all eating it because I was popular. No one ever gave a shit about me as a person, Lamau. I'm just a funny meme to them. I'm just a guy they can copy. You know, high bloods are always stealing my work, my look, my music. I'm the real influencer here, but there's violet bloods out there taking my shit and getting twice the followers and tons of money.
and I'm stuck here in this shitty hive with no friends because they all turned on me. But it's cool. It's chill. I'm totally chill with it, Lamau. Something shifts in Sarava's expression as they get a good look at you. You tense up. Your new friend sure is acting weird. Ding. Sarava checks the notifications on their phone. What the hell did you do? Huh? What? You didn't do anything. You think you could just steal my look and get away with it? All my followers think you're the new big thing because you look like me. Hey, want to know what the hell is... Or they want to know what the hell is going on. When's your new friend's stream? What's their sign? Are you kidding me? You haven't even done anything. You're just like all the rest. No, you don't want to be like all the rest. You just want to be friends. It's too late for that now. You made me look like a fucking idiot. And now there's only one thing to do. I really didn't want it to come to this. But you've left me with no choice. I'm writing a call-out post. No! Sarava types furiously on their device. You can't stand to look. This is the worst possible thing that could have happened. Now, no one will be your friend ever again. You'll be forced to live on the outskirts of society, a pariah. You can't even begin to imagine the things that Sarava must be writing about you. You must have fucked up so many things in your life to lead you to this point. There's only one thing to do. You stagger downstairs past all the portraits of Sarava's ex-friends. You wonder if they met the same horrible fate as you. Their grinning faces taunt you with shivers of friendship that could never be. You burst out of the front door of Sarava's hive and make your way to a conveniently placed stump. You sit on it in complete despair. There's no point living anymore. With trembling hands, you reach inside. Oh. Okay. All right. It's time to get fucking suicidal because of a failed friendship. Oh, man. There was just a gun in the stump. A human gun. You don't know, it could have been a fucking... Could have totally been a troll gun. I'm gonna pick out my own look. You tell Sarava, you let Sarava know you're perfectly comfortable picking out your own look. You think you can figure out this fashion business easily enough. What could possibly go wrong? This is child's play. Yeah, man. Fashion is just all about, like, what you're feeling. And also what's trending, but you know. We're the ones that start the trends. You strike me as a real influencer, Lamel. Go for it, my dude. You enter the closet tentatively. As soon as Sarava is out of sight, your stupid ego deflates like a farting balloon. You don't know the first thing about the hip youth aliens fashion of today. This is going to be an absolute shit show, you reckon. But you are fully prepared to make an utter fool of yourself. Well, might as well get started. You pick a few accessories off the shelves at random. A bright pink hat? Sure. You tilt it jauntily to the side. You're pretty sure that's cool? Sunglasses, definitely. That's a no-brainer. No cool guy could be caught or would be caught dead without a sweet pair of shades. You select the most ostentatious pair available. You think you're getting the hang of this moisture wave aesthetic. You just have to look like the biggest tool possible. Several accessories later. Wow, radical. Neato. Like a discount. I look like a fucking. I look like a fucking discount neon Dave Strider. Oh my fuck. This shit is transcendent. Wow. You got me speechless. Just, damn, look at you. It's like you're a whole new guy. A much chiller and cooler guy who I now gotta be friends with right now immediately. Now all we gotta do is debut you to my hundreds and thousands of followers, Lamau. It's gonna be fucking great. Let's take some selfies. Your heart is soaring. You did it. You actually did it. You're down with the kids, and now Sarava wants to make you the coveted, or take the coveted selfies with you. This night couldn't be going any better. You may look like a complete asshole, but if it can win you popularity with a bunch of alien teenagers, then an asshole you will be. Selling out is amazing. Well, what are you waiting for? Get over here, and we're gonna take some fees. You pose with Sarava for several selfies. They put their arm around you in a gesture of newly formed friendship. You are beaming with friend pride. Oh, hell yeah! Those are turning out great. Damn! We're killing it. Now all I gotta do is post them. Sarava fiddles around with their phone for a while. You're so nervous. You've never been internet famous before. You hope the new fame won't change you too much. Or maybe you do hope it will change you. Change you into someone with a ton of friends. And the likes are rolling in. Oh yes, I live for this shit. This one guy is asking if you want any of your quadrants filled. Oh, and this girl loves your shades. Damn, a lot of people are asking if you're single, Lamau. Don't go for it though. My followers are fucking freaks, dude. You aren't quite sure what filling a quadrant is. Sounds like some kind of fucked up alien ritual, but if it's anything like friendship, you are all for it. Welcome to my twisted internet fame, Lamau. Let's chill out and listen to some beats. You vape? Got a pretty juicy rig downstairs. Before you know it, you're sitting on Sarava's couch watching them finagle with a horrifyingly elaborate vape ring that appears to be made out of some sort of living larva. You don't want to know. Sarava places their mouth on what surely must be a bug anus and inhales deeply. The rig makes an awful high-pitched rattling noise. You think you're going to vomit. Oh man, that's the good stuff. Here you go, dude. You take the trembling insect into your hands. Well, here goes. Your final hurdle into eternal friendship and popularity. You vape vigorously, inhaling as much as you can. The vapor fills your lungs immediately. It burns. A lot. You suddenly realize that you're not quite sure if this alien vape juice is compatible with your anatomy. You could have just inhaled a bug ass full of poison like a fucking idiot. What a way to die. Your vision swims. Yeah, you got it. Just hold it in, Lamau. Tears stream down your face as you hold in your double lungful of insect gas. You sure are glad you have on your pair of cool shades, or you would never be able to live this embarrassment down. You're not sure how long you're supposed to do this? As long as it takes. You can exhale now. You cough and sputter, green vapor spewing from your mouth straight into Sarava's face. You did it. You lived. Oh man, that was sick. Your head feels light and woozy, and you giggle. Yeah. The two of you kick back and relax on the couch, and you stare up at the ceiling. Whoa. When did that huge wasp nest get there? Crazy, man. Sarava's music suddenly sounds a lot more interesting. Dude, today has been way chiller than I ever expected, Lamau. You are officially my best friend for life. Just promise me you'll never betray me, Lamau. You promise. This is incredible. You love your new friend. You watch as they effortlessly take another huge rip from their vape rig. I've been burned in the past, Lamau. It's not easy being popular online, especially as a lowblood. I used to be a fucking big shot. Or I used to be such a fucking big shot. Got into sassy fights with high bloods on Chitter. Always had some shit to say, Lamau. Then shit got out of control. I'm a psionic, so bitches started reporting me as way more powerful than I really am, Lamau.
Trying to get me all enslaved and shit so I couldn't keep up with my streams. It's all jealousy, you know? My stupid ass friends all turned on me so they wouldn't be targeted next, Lamau. So I took matters into my own hands. Gouged out my fucking eye. It was sick as fuck. Can't use me as a battery, bitch. Still got a big following, but I don't really talk online anymore, Lamau. Better to just stay under the radar and not piss people off. Just be chill. If I don't get close to my followers, they can't try to use me. Of course, that means I no longer have any goddamn friends, Lamau. Well, until you. You are truly moved. What a special bond you have formed with your new friend. You have them open up to you about their darkest secrets. This is the most significant and transcendent moment you have ever experienced. The two of you share a beautiful and tender bro embrace, the likes of which will never be replicated in this known universe again for all time forever. Probably. You don't really know. You're high as fuck right now. It's high time I got a friend who chills out and gets fucking high with me, I guess. I just noticed the symbol on the shirt is like it's just a flat face. All right, we've got two more. Putting one foot in front of the other, you continue on through this strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks of life. That thing is friendship. You were on the prowl for more. It would have perhaps been wise to stay with one of your wonderful new friends until you are fully healed. But as Martha Stewart said, visitors, like fish, begin to smell after 3 days. You're almost positive Martha Stewart said that. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels take you next? Hold on, I have to check something really quick. Damn. All right. Branya Ursama. She's a virus. I love that is literally the most recognizable sign. The virus. Well, let's go with Skyla Corriga. As dawn approaches, you find yourself heading out of the big city and into the rustic outskirts. Man, the sun sure is bright on this planet. It's rising over the crest of the distant hills, a huge fiery ball. The later it gets, the bigger and bigger it grows. Way bigger than you've ever seen the sun on Earth. What's that smell? Could it be your flesh beginning to sizzle? Fantastic! You love the country. No wonder the nightlife seems so active on Alternia. They are all nocturnal to avoid brutal, daily roasting. You reach into your pocket for your cool new shades, but you appear to have left them at your friend's house. Fuck. You gotta get yourself together. The recent physical trauma and extensive blood loss has you a little fuzzy. You weren't built for this wilderness survival shit. You're starting to wish you'd just stolen a fucking Lamborghini or something, instead of a spaceship. This seriously isn't looking good. The city is too far away now for you to turn back, so you have no choice but to keep walking. Maybe you can find a cave or a hole in the ground. Maybe you can just cover yourself with grass. You wish that someone had mentioned the Death Sun in between offering you alien meat products and calling you their muse.
Off to your left in the distance, you catch sight of what might be the shimmer of sunlight on glass. A window? A solar panel? You could seriously clean up with a renewable energy on this planet. Should you change your trajectory and go toward the shimmer, it might just be a mirage. Well, let's forget it. Honestly, you could probably see this one coming. Well, that was very there was absolutely nothing to that one. Just, you could have seen this one coming, dude. Ripping pepperonis. Go toward the shimmer. You turn your aching, stinging meat sack toward the distant, promising sparkle of safety and succor. You focus on just staying upright, one step at a time. Just keep swimming, or whatever. God, this sun. Or this sun, though. You need SPF 5 million for this nonsense. But then, almost like it has picked itself up to some scuttling to meet you, you suddenly find yourself in front of a long, low structure. You let out a yelp of anguish, pounding on the door. At least, you hope it's the door. What in the world? What in the world? Damn. The door opens and you fall inside with one of the most pathetic whimpers of your career. Blessed darkness closes in on you. From right beside you comes a snuffling yip, like some joker is making fun of your dire situation. Something warm and wet glides up your stinging cheek. Hold on, lady. Give him some room. A pair of hands help you sit up gently. Your eyes haven't adjusted enough to make out more than a couple shapes, one upright and one lower to the ground. What were you doing out there? Can you stand? Strong arms pull you to your feet. You wonder if everyone on this planet is strong or if you are just extremely flimsy. They guide you to a chair at the end of a long table. Stutteringly, you begin to explain yourself that you are an injured, exhausted traveler who is ravenous for pals. Well, bless your heart. But hold on a tick. Dinner's about to burn. Now that your rescuer mentions it, you do smell something. It smells amazing. Funny you should just blunder in here like that. I was just saying, wasn't I, lady? It's been so long since we had any sort of guests who weren't Imperial drones or out to rob us. You rub at your watering, slowly clearing eyes, and when you look back up, your rescuer finally comes into focus. She's tall, taller than anyone else you've met here, you think. Also, maybe a little older. Not that you're an expert in troll physiology, she just has an air of knowledgeable competence. She's wearing a fringed jacket and holding up a plate. There you go. Your oculars feeling any better? By the by, my name is Skyla. Pleased to meet you. And this here's Lady. She looks down, and at first you think she means the table, but then you look under the table at the giant monster dog looking up at you. You jolt so hard you almost fly backward out of your goddamn chair. Whoa there! No need for theatrics. Looks a little like one of those Lassie dogs with the pointed noses, except enormous and pure white. Its barks practically shake the whole house. Alright. Okay. So, the friend sims are the only things in Hiveswap so far that have actually been written by Hussey himself. And I get the feeling like all of the art here is all done by Hussey himself, or at least a part of it, because this is the first time we've seen Eleusis being since the days of MS Paint Adventures, being rendered in such glorious JPEG artifact, almost. I mean, okay, it looks like he took a picture of Lassie, posterized it in Photoshop,
and then took all the colors out. It's wonderful. I mean, he never did that kind of shit for like any of the Luci in. Oh, he's not doing the art. The first 2 arcs had the same artist. Volume 3 was done by someone. Okay, all right. Well, I'm sure he fucking highly approved of that A+ Photoshop as well. It looks a little like one of those lassie dogs with the pointed noses. Blah, 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 blah. Barks practically shake the whole house. Hey there, lady. No need to be rude. They've clearly had one hell of a time and they don't look dangerous. Just really peculiar. Besides, they try anything, you and me can take them. Skyla puts her hands on her hips, staring you down with thunderous yellow eyes. Right? No funny business, you hear? You swallow and nod, trying to look unthreatening and unthreatening and obliging, ready for anything. For instance, friendship. You are so ready for that. Skyla sets down the plate she's holding. Here, have a grub cake. There's plenty. That sounds gross as hell, but what's sitting on the plate looks and smells exactly like a normal pancake, golden brown and crispy at the edges. There's boiled tree blood too, if you like. Also churned dairy product. She puts down a carafe of syrup and a dish of butter. Man, everything here is really weird names. Skyla pours out a cup of some very familiar smelling liquid. Brown bean juice, you guess. Skyla raises an eyebrow. No. That's just coffee. Damn. She sits down next to you. You're lucky you were the only one in the light at dawn. Nobody wants to be out in direct Alternian sunlight besides Jade Bloods. And no offense, but you certainly ain't any Jade Blooded that you certainly ain't any Jade Blood that I ever seen. At first, I thought you were some sort of mutated Lucis, because you don't have horns. You're just grunting and yipping up a storm back there. But you're an alien, right? Don't worry. I won't call the drones. I'd best get used to being around aliens anyway. Seeing as how I'm going to be seeing a whole mess of y'all come next week. She laughs nervously. You aren't sure what she's talking about. Do you even need to specify that anymore? It's just natural law at this point. Gravity, the conservation of energy, and you don't know what the fuck is going on. Lady, would you mind drawing a bath for our guest? Hold on. No offense, but you smell like you could use one. You can't argue with that. You offer her a cautious smile. God, she seems so nice and caring. But you've been burned before, and cut, and generally kicked around by fate. It's a tough world out there, but you want to trust Skyla. Lady takes a bucket in her muzzle and runs out into the yard, getting up on her hind legs and batting at the door latch to open it. It's adorable. The sun is high enough now that the whole landscape outside is washed in light. Oh God, the dog. Oh, it's sweet of you to worry. We saw fine going outside for a little while in the daylight. The coats reflect light or something to that effect. I don't really know how it works. I ain't exactly known for my scientific acumen. You tell her that she seems pretty smart from where you're standing. As cynical as you are becoming, you just can't help trying to be her friend. She's so nice and, wow, really pretty. Not that that's a requirement for friendship, but your retinas would have to be way more scalded than they are not to notice that. It's nice of you to say, but it wouldn't really matter if I was a bona fide genius. Someone of my case could never hope to rise up in the ranks. Best I can hope for is hauling crates on some cargo vessel. Ranks? Cargo vessel? You swallow your bite of grub cake, ready to ask her if she is thinking about joining the military, but just then a swell of noise erupts from outside the house. Shouts, crashes, and Lady's frantic barks. Skyla gasps and launches herself out of her chair, knocking over the carafe of syrup.
It oozes across the tabletop in a sticky wave. Oh no! Not now! What the hell is going on? Bandits! Goddamn Lucis thieves! You don't get the chance to ask anything else before Skyla careens towards the door, throwing up an arm as blazing white light pours in. Oh god, she's going to go outside and burn up. She isn't thinking straight. You've got to do something. Help her? What the hell? You've already experienced the Alternian sun. It sucked a whole lot. Maybe now will suck less, because of how bad it sucked then. Just a sliding scale of suckage. Skyla plunges out into the daylight in the direction of the commotion. Like a big dumb asshole, you barrel out into the blazing hellscape after her. Surprise! It still sucks. You've had sunburns before, but this is ridiculous. This is a fucking monster of a gas giant pointing and laughing at the tiny speck of humanity you represent, trembling before the void. It's a pure assault on all of your senses. The light is almost as bad as the heat, and you put up your arms to block the glare following the dust Skyla kicks up behind her. You doubt your eyes will actually ever adjust to this fuckery, but you can see a little better than before. There are about a dozen of them, all of them trolls, all wearing dark, padded outfits that cover their faces. They look halfway between hazmat suits and SWAT uniforms. All of them have big, fake-looking guns that probably aren't fake. In fact, one of them shoots a laser at your face. You duck and it leaves a blazing heat trail across your cheek. But as all of you is currently burning, it doesn't really break your stride. Skyla throws herself into the fray, letting out a war cry accompanied by the sound of a fist hitting flesh. It's 12 against 2, which, if you remember your fractions right, is not unlike 6 against 1. But these guys had probably not been expecting a frontal assault, and they had definitely not been expecting Skyla, who is frankly fucking terrifying. She shoves three trolls down like dominoes, grabbing up a discarded gun and shooting all three while they're on the ground. You have never been in a fight before, a fucking all-out brawl. It's scary, but now that you are in the thick of it, it's also kind of awesome. Sure, your skin is burning and you could be killed at any moment, but that's just how it goes on this planet. You just gotta get into the swing of things. Take no prisoners. Kill or be killed. Hell yeah! You pop one of the bandit trolls in the face. Fuck, that probably hurt your fist more than it hurt the troll, but it does throw them off balance for long enough for Skyla to smash the butt of her gun into the side of their head. Yeehaw! Hell yeah! She gives you a wild grin. Two of you are beaming at each other while a hostile alien sun tries to boil away the liquid from your eyeballs, and a bunch of bandits try to dognap a giant monster. You love this girl. In a friendship way. But still, you love her. You make an awesome team. Another troll comes up behind Skyla and she smashes an elbow into their throat, grabbing them by the front of their uniform and suplexing them into the dusty ground. Fuck, she's the troll Undyne. She wails on them with her bare hands. God, she's really hot. Get lady! Oh, right. You stumble over to where the Lucis is thrashing inside a big black net. You don't have any way to cut her free, but she's already doing great on her own, biting through the fibers with her big sharp teeth. You hold the net still for her to finish the job, and then pull it off her so she can join the fray. It's over fast after that. How did they even get Lady in the big net in the first place? She's so giant and quick, grabbing trolls in her jaws and shaking them like chew toys. The remaining 5 are still standing jump into their weird little dune. The remaining 5 who are still standing jump into their weird little dune buggies and make tracks. Emphasis on the bug. They look like scuttling little beetles. Hold on just a moment. I'm checking something, guys.
close enough. Alright, anyway. Skyla chases after them for a few hundred yards, throwing the gun after them and shouting obscenities. And stay away, you hear? Tell the rest of them why you don't ever fuck with a Rusty's ranch. She stands silhouetted against the blazing sun, the dust trails vanishing into the distance. Excuse me. You are awash in heady victory, giggling like a lunatic before the adrenaline kind of drains out of you all at once. You are violently reminded of your fucked up ribs and recent blood loss. The Alternian sun beats down, and your arms are already covered in raised patches of red skin. This is a sunburn turned up to 11. Whoa there, are you okay? Skyla is swaying too. A spray of olive green blood covers her cheek. At least the rainbow blood on this planet means you can be sure it isn't hers, but she still looks rough. Kind of how you feel. Lady! Come here, girl! Wow, you're gonna sit down. Maybe just take a little break. The pale landscape swoops, going even paler. No, you can't rest there. You can't rest here. You'll die, dumbass. I'm not letting anything happen to my new best friend. Get up! New best friend? Holy shit, that makes you so happy. You absolutely can't die here, not when you've just made such an amazing friend. Somehow, the two of you manage to drag each other across the yard and toward the house. Hive. You're gonna get this lingo down if it kills you. Whenever you feel yourself about to fall forward, you lean on Skyla. Then you start to fall back. When you start to fall back, Lady is there to brace herself against the back of your knees. She's such a good Lucis. You wonder if she'll be your friend too. Her muzzle is dripping with a soup of multicolored alien blood. When you get back into the darkness of the hive, you can't see shit. Dang, your species really ain't suited for this kind of environment, huh? Can't even see in the dark. In demonstration, you walk right into the table. You've about had it with tables. You are sworn enemies at this point. Please don't knock down my nutrition platform. I built it myself. She sounds exhausted but giddy. Dang, you really did that thing, didn't you? Okay. You kind of want to go in for the hug, but that sunburn is really something. Feels like tiny needles piercing your arms and cheeks. The back of your neck is a colony of fire ants. Oh yeah. Feels real bad, don't it? Come on, there's only one cure for sun rash. Skyla takes her hand. Gosh, this is next level friendship stuff. She leads you through her hive, and who knows if you are ever going to get all of your vision back. Maybe you're just blind for life. You'll have to get a cane and a whimsical aesthetic, learn to navigate the world by smell alone. No, now that would be stupid. Yeah, that'd be fucking retarded, I swear. Here we go. My coop ain't huge, but kinda scrawny. What are you waiting for? Take your clothes off. Man, the sun must have fucked with you more than just your eyes, because you could have sworn Skyla just told you to take your clothes off. You are seriously not getting into my Recuperaccoon in those filthy rags. I'm not sure what those clothes were supposed to be originally. Yeah, you weren't so sure about your look either. Another new friend of yours told you it was rad, but you were both a little high at the time. You might be a little high right now. You wonder if sunstroke causes auditory hallucinations. Also, you don't know what a Recuperaccoon is. Huh? Really? Then what the heck do you sleep in on your planet? You hear rustling, followed by the sound of clothes hitting the floor, and then a weird gloop gloop, or a weird gloop gloop, like someone getting into a bathtub, only thicker. If a troll didn't have soaper, well, I don't rightly know what would happen. But I reckon it wouldn't be great. It can speed the healing process for burns and small wounds. I'm not sure what it's going to do to your weird alien anatomy, but I don't see as how it's going to make it any worse. You tell Skyla that in your experience, things can always get worse. Especially from her perspective right now, since she's about to see you naked. Nothing like a little self-deprecating humor has an A+ cover for crippling insecurity. Skyla laughs.
Come on now. I'm sure you're a perfectly healthy example of your species. Just get in already. I promise this ain't any sort of pale solicitation, or flushed for that matter. I know it's awkward, but I only got one coup. Right. Okay, yeah, you can totally do this. You can make this not weird. Of course, you trip taking off your goddamn pants, and Skyla starts laughing all over again. Not in a mean way, more in a chill, please join me in my slime bathtub old chum way. Nah, in a non-awkward way. In a friend way. Victory. Okay. I guess we gotta do the bad end, don't we? Just because. Damn, that story there was almost a fucking romance, I'll tell you what. I don't feel like this bad end is going to be nearly... Stop her. Skyla is bigger than you, and she has the strength of both desperation and a superior genome, so you don't feel great about your chances. But you have to try. Skyla is too upset to be careful. You have to stop her from hurting herself. You stumbled into her house all gross and pathetic and alien, and she didn't turn you away. She gave you pancakes, for Christ's sake. Grub cakes, whatever. And it isn't just the sun from the number of voices. There's got to be 20 people out there. She doesn't stand a chance. You run behind her and hook your arms under hers, hauling her back by the armpits. She struggles, jabbing her elbow into your aching ribs. Let me go! You don't understand. They'll take her. Lady! You hold grimly on, going limp and using gravity and your own dead weight to pull her down to the floor. Through wheezing breaths, you tell her she can't go out there. Didn't she just tell you that you'd never have survived if it had been later than dawn? You probably aren't making much sense, but you keep up a stream of worthless bullshit until something catches. Would your Lucis really want this for you, Skyla? Would Lady really want you to sacrifice yourself for her? Skyla goes rigid, and then all the fight just drains out of her like blood down a drain. She sags back into your arms. The two of you watch Lady thrashing in a huge black net as several of the figures haul her away. The sun is too bright to see them clearly, but they appear to be herding more white creatures out of a paddock and into a collection of vehicles. A herd. She says it so quietly you feel it more than hear it. You continue to watch as Lady is packed into one of the vehicles and they drive away, kicking up clouds of dust that glimmer in the brutal sun. You can let me go now. I'm not gonna throw myself into daylight like a romance novel heroine. You realize just how tight you're holding on to her and loosen your arms, pulling away and sitting up. Skyla's cheeks are wet with tears, but she quickly shakes her hair into her face to hide it. That makes your heart hurt. You want to tell her that everything is going to be okay, but you make it a point not to lie to your friends. You have absolutely no idea how it's going to be. Before you can say anything at all, she gets up and disappears through a door further into the house. Give her some space. You decide to mind your own business. Well, you do try the door, but it's locked. Best to keep occupied and do what you can for her. First, you shut the door. You keep that sweltering heat and blinding light out. Then you tidy up the kitchen a little. Everything here is oddly textured and colored. The shapes unusually are organic. Some of it is worryingly scuttly and alive. You do your best. You mop up the syrup and straighten the chairs. You're just trying to figure out how to get the sink to spit out some water into the dirty dishes when Skyla comes back out. Her eyes are dry and her hair is combed back out of her face. Don't you worry about that. You're gonna break some. She plays with one of her beaded bracelets with nervous little fidgets of her fingers. I could never have taken those fellas by myself, especially not in broad daylight. I want to thank you for stepping in and stopping me. I was overwrought. You nod, accepting her thanks. She doesn't seem overwrought anymore, just numb.
Wow, this is actually a legitimately terrible situation. Not even in a numb, zany way, like all the other horseshit that has happened to you. It is at this point that I would like to turn off the music. You wonder who those guys even were. This is not fitting! Loose as thieves. They've come before, but always at night and never in such large numbers. So Lady and me could always take them. Never expected anything like this. For them to come out in force like this in the middle of the day? She sits down at the table, putting her elbow in a patch of syrup you missed. You offer her the dishcloth and notice several little discolored patches on her arm. It looks like she got burned just from having her arm out the door for like a minute and a half. You're really glad you didn't let her go out there. You've endured a lot of heinous shit on your short span of this planet. Injuries and a lot of added insults to those injuries. But the time you spend with Skyla waiting for the sun to go down is some of the worst and most helpless. You don't know what to say. You help her. You don't know what to say to help her. You aren't actually her friend. You aren't even the same species. Latrell and Lucis' relationship is a little confusing, but they seem to be some combination of caretaker and pet. More symbiotic than parent and child. Finally, it gets late enough to venture outside, and you follow Skyla out to the empty paddock. There's nothing out here but a broken fence and a trampled ground. Lots of kids lose their Lusa. It's just a part of life. I would have been heading into the ordeal's next sweep anyway. I would never have seen her again. But at least I would have gotten the chance to say goodbye, you know? It's kind of a bummer how resigned everyone on this planet seems to terrible things happening. Then again, you guess that's sort of true on your planet too. Existence. Just a goddamn mess. You try to give her the most understanding look you can. Just a really good and supportive friend face. You're killing her. But Skyla isn't paying attention to your glowing facade. She's reaching into her jacket and pulling out her phone. What the hell? My palm husk is blowing up. Oh god. Skyla drops her phone in the dirt and claps a hand over her mouth. Her eyes sparkle with tears. You pick it up. It's kind of squishy and squirms in your hand a little, which you don't love. You also don't love what's on the screen. It's a troll in a mask, holding a gun on Lady, who is still in that net, baring her fake teeth. The gun looks fake, kind of like a Nerf gun. You bet it's not a Nerf gun. The photo is accompanied by more of that spiky text that you can't read. Hey, how can you understand the Alternian spoken language but not the written? You decide not to think about it too hard. Waste of time. They sent a ransom demand. They said if I can't pay, they'll sell her. Troll Lusa are valued for their strength all over the galaxy. Now, Harris knows about the black market, but she doesn't do anything about it. She just takes a cut. You ask her how much the ransom demand is for, as if you have a penny to your name. She tells you a number that sounds stupidly large, even knowing the exchange rate to Earth. Even without knowing the exchange rate to Earth money. They're just mocking me. You know a bronze blood can't afford this. You just want to force me to fail her one more time. Her voice breaks on a sob. You reach over and put your hand on her arm. She looks at you with big watery eyes, and you brace for her to fall into your arms sobbing. You're actually kind of hoping for it. Not that you're the type to want to profit off others' pain, but you're pretty sure that offering comfort in a time of crisis is a first-class ticket to Friendsville. Instead, Skyla gives you a hard shove backward. You take 2 stumbling steps and fall on your ass. Something squishes underneath you. A cow pat or something alive? You aren't sure what you'd prefer, honestly. Sorry. I didn't actually push you that hard. Your species just seems pretty flimsy. I don't want sympathy right now. Especially not from you. She stands framed between the 2 moons. Some trick of perspective making her look just as distant and just as sad. Not that moons are inherently sad. Whatever. That's not the issue right now. Had Skyla been lying on you before when she said she doesn't blame you? Or lying to you before? Fuck my eyes.
She'd even thanked you for stopping her from killing herself. Nah, I don't blame you. I just can't stand the sight of you. Looking at you just reminds me of losing Lady, and I don't think that'll ever change. Sorry. I really was hoping we could be friends. It's been a really long time since I've seen anybody out here that goes on 2 legs instead of 4. But I just don't think it's gonna work out. Start walking now, you can probably make it to the city before sunrise. Or there's a Jade Blood colony nearby if you want to inflict your personal brand of assistance on them. Bye. You leave with your proverbial tail between your legs. And the last glimpse you get of Skyla, she's standing next to the empty paddock, staring at the ground. That is disgustingly sad. I didn't want to go through that. How dare you make me do this, Rig? I'm going to fucking kill myself at this point. Alright, Bronya. You've been traveling through a cave network for a while now. The rigid stone is a welcomed respite from the eerily organic infrastructure you've been encountering, but it's also proving an unwelcome respite, or an unwelcome respite from friend making. Maybe it wasn't too much to hope for, that this cavern would be home to another potential new buddy. Maybe leaving the city behind was a horrible mistake. Just maybe these dark, cold tunnels are completely devoid of, oh, hang on, there's a bunch of buildings in the distance. Oh, hello. I thought you were one of my girls, but you don't look like a Jade Blood. Or anything else, actually. How strange. You convey your usual spiel regarding your circumstances. You are lost and lonely, and your ribs are still broken, you think? Honestly, the ribs are fine. You could just use another friend or two. I see. My first response is to my Jades and the Mother Grub, so I can't make any promises of friendship just yet, but you do look like you need someone to take care of you. Here in the Brooding Caverns, we follow a few simple rules. 1. Don't invite drama from up top down below. 2. Protect the Mother Grub. 3. We have no hierarchy, but do what I say. Let's do everything we can to keep our current record of dozens of sweeps without any Jades being cold. You're not sure what half of those words mean, but you nod your head. Good. I'll take you to our hive. Follow me. You follow her into the hive, which looks like a school or some kind of dormitory, with multiple rooms and multiple floors. Usually more of my Jades are around. I suppose that everyone is out watching the Imperial drones arrive with the filial pails. Girls, we have a visitor to our caverns. 1. Do not be alarmed by their bizarre appearance. They seem to be harmless and quite weak. 2. Do not give them more injuries than they already have. Our visitor deserves a warm Jade Blood welcome. She claps her hands. No one else is around, but you stand to attention and give her the thumbs up to show that you read her loud and clear. You notice that she called you visitor and not friend, but that's okay. You can do whatever it takes until you're upgraded from visitor to friend, or at least charity case. You follow her upstairs and she stops at a big room on the 2nd floor. When you step into it, you have to clap your hand over your mouth to keep from gagging at the revolting sight. There are big, baby-sized larva-looking things all over the floor, squirming around and crying and inchworming out of kiddie pools of green slime. What the hell? This is our nursery. Most of these wigglers are sick or injured, so we look after them in here until they are well enough to go back out into the cavern and spin their cocoons. She looked shifty all of a sudden, giving you some side-eye, like she's sizing you up. You try to look very non-threatening and also 100% trustworthy. We keep this nursery on the down low. It's not against any laws, but it's something of a break with the tradition to save any of the grubs instead of just letting them die. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure why we do it. I guess it just feels right to me to take care of them the same way I take care of my Jades. The nursery, huh? You look around again with this new information. You guess you can sort of see how the wigglers look like babies. You can't believe that one of these things could grow up into anything that looks like Bronya, but this is an alien planet, so who knows. She takes you over to a shelf that seems to hold medical supplies.
You're not sure what can be done for your broken ribs, but maybe she has some kind of alien technology that can help. But when she starts going through the cabinet, you don't see anything that looks high-tech like the thing that fixed your arm. I guess that most of what we have is stuff for the Wigglers, and I'm not familiar enough with your bizarre anatomy to know if it will help. But if you're not completely sure how to do something, it's best to try anyway. 1, even if you fail, so everyone else can still learn from your mistake. 2, maybe you won't fail. You never know. You're not so sure about applying this ethos to your broken ribs, but she looks so determined, it might be rude to say no. I kind of want to do the wrong one first, but I don't know which one would be wrong. No, wrong would absolutely be turning down this helpful Jade Blood's help. I think. Hold on. Just periodically checking things. Don't worry about me. I'm worried about you, though. You seem like you need help, and I wish I could help you more. If I can't take care of someone, I'm not sure how we can ever truly be friends. You try to cheer her up, pointing out that friendship is a two-way street, after all. She doesn't have to concern herself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead? Well, sure, there are things around here that I could use some assistance with. However, don't take this the wrong way, but we've only just met. I don't know that I can trust you to be as responsible as I am. It's not as easy to be the one in charge. You have to be conscientious, considerate, and competent at all times. You try to think of times in your life when you've been conscientious, considerate, or competent. They're drawing a bit of a blank, but hey, new planet, new you. You assure her that you have what it takes. I guess if you want to prove that you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's a good time for a visit to the Mother Grub. Oh, I think I chose the right one. Go for it. My ribs are already broken, so where's the harm? Okay, come here. Lift up your shirt so I can get your injured below sack enclosures. Your injured bellow sack enclosures. Yes, like that. Turn the part that's all bloody and horrifying towards me. She has something that looks kind of like some kind of ointment. It's a shade of bright green, similar to the slime beds you see around the nursery. And it also seems to be glowing. Seems like there's nothing wrong about applying it to your skin. But despite your optimism, the second Bronya rubs some of it on your broken skin, you feel a searing hot pain like you just got doused with poison. You flinch back instinctively. Your momentum carries you too far, and you step back. And as you step back, you trip on something behind your feet. You cartwheel your arms, but it's no use. You're going down. You're yelling timber. You feel something soft and squishy break your fall, and you hear a terrible squelching noise and some kind of animal squeal. You have fallen right onto one of the Wigglers. You roll off of it, but there's no use. It's squished flat, and you're covered in olive fluid that you think might be its blood. You look up to see Bronya's horrified face, and you know that there's no hope for friendship in those vengeful eyes. You might want to run before I throw you out of this window and break the rest of your bones. Yep, there it was. Okay, fuck. Okay. I'll heal on my own just fine. Oh, well, if you're sure. Yeah, Rig, you just had to visualize in your brain a Wiggler getting squished. GG. I'm worried about you, though. Blah, 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 blah. Sure are things around. Whom you're responsible. It's a good time to visit the Mother Grub. Oh, wait, hold on. Think of times, consider it competent. You're drawing a bit of a blank. Thanks. I guess if you want to prove that you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's a good time for a visit to the Mother Grub. You're careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out of the nursery. She takes you back outside, and these caverns are even bigger than you first realized. They're also dark and cold and gloomy, and you can't see anywhere that might lead up to the planet's surface. Does she really just live down here all the time? You make some conversation during this cold hike in a damp cave. You mention that living underground like this seems kind of depressing. You realize too late that this wasn't very tactful. She doesn't get angry at your controversial gambit of insulting her home. Oh no, it's very peaceful down here. Well, in comparison to anywhere else. I quite enjoy it. The Brooding Caverns are a place for life and birth, not death. That's pretty uncommon on Alternia. You're still not sure what she means by Brooding Caverns, but you guess it has something to do with the Wigglers in her nursery. Before you can ask, you reach the top of a ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of this cavern. It's enormous, probably the size of a small city. All over the cave floor, you see more Wigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls, and the larger stalagmites with some young trolls crawling out of them. Hold on. Walking, flying, and crawling among the Wigglers and young trolls are a variety of white monsters, of all kinds and shapes and sizes. In the center of the cavern there is, you don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge, many-legged queen bug of some kind, with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of her head. Her bulbous sphincter ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs, from which you assume the gray Wigglers will hatch. And marching through all this, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets either to or away from the mother grub. They look armed, and they move like regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. You are instinctively terrified of them. This is where the magic happens, and by that I mean the continuation of our species. Jadebloods like myself are entrusted with looking after this process, which is of course a very special job. The Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to the mother grub for her slurry. 2, she lays the eggs that hatch new grub broods. 3, after the Wigglers emerge from their cocoons, the new trolls will go through the trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by Eleusis to help care for them. 4, together the young trolls and their Luci go up to the surface together, where the trolls will grow up, or get cold, or whatever. As Bronya explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left, and in the process tramples over a few Wigglers and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the Luci cry out, crowding around their dead or injured charges. One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and bears up on its hind legs, hitting one of the other Luci with its front hoof. Oh geez, not again. This kind of damage control is a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever Eleusis goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's the potential for it to lash out at other Luci, the Wigglers, or the mother grub herself. We Jadebloods cannot let that happen. She looks so concerned, a marked contrast to how confident she's seemed before now. You offered to help her out earlier, and it seems like now's your chance. Someone has to stop that rogue Lucis, and that someone could be you? Okay, I'm gonna save. I haven't used the saves yet, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Let's be a weenie. You definitely do not like the idea of wading into a monster fight, not even to save the progenitor of your new friend's species. In fact, you don't like that Bronya is so focused on protecting all these helpless toddlers and distressed animals instead of taking care of you. You stammer out that you don't think you can take on any kind of monster right now. In fact, you just felt another stab of pain in your ribs. You might be blacking out. Bronya's concerned face turns in your direction as you start to swoon. She catches you before you hit the ground, and your heart flutters. You look up at her serious face, and she looks like such a mom, but also such a friend, like some sort of combination of these two concepts. Yikes, you don't look so good. I can't leave you alone, not when you're in such bad shape. Maybe I could carry you on my back while I try to stop the rampaging Lucis.
Your heart flutters turn to pinpricks of alarm. That sounds dangerous, mainly for you. You try to think of what you can say to dissuade her. Something other than, I think you should ignore the helpless babies and mother in danger behind you in favor of continuing to hold me in your strong arms. But before you can speak, you hear a commotion behind her. She turns to look over her shoulder, and her face sags with relief. Yes, the other Jades are here. They should know what to do. We've taken care of crises like this before. Of course, usually I'm there to help. If you crane your neck, you can just glimpse a crowd of trolls corralling the rogue Lucis away from the mother grub, while other trolls calm the remaining Luci and swoop up any wigglers in harm's way. It looks like I needn't have worried. They're more than capable of stepping in while I'm otherwise occupied. I'm so proud. You take this opportunity to compliment her on what a great leader she must be. To have trained the others so well. Super smooth. She beams at you and sets you down carefully on the cavern floor, kneeling at your side. This could have gone quite badly. I'm glad I didn't make the wrong choice when I stayed to help you instead of rushing off. It just goes to show, sometimes the best thing you can do for the group is take care of the weakest person in it. You kind of want to object to being called the weakest person, but you did just fake a fainting spell for attention, so maybe now isn't the best time. Instead, you thank her sincerely for sticking by your side. The two of you watch together as order is gradually restored to the chaos below, and even with your injuries, you feel close to content and quite hopeful about how this relationship is progressing. You notice that at your side, several wigglers are blindly squirming around, confused and crying. There are some young trolls here, too, looking around, all lost and bereft. You're not sure if their Luci ran off with the others that got involved in the fracas, or if these little guys are orphans now. Now that you're seeing them out in the natural cavern light, the wigglers look a little less like maggots to you, in fact. Or in fact, they're even kind of cute. You can see why Bronya would want to take care of them. One of the smallest wigglers closest to you has somehow flipped himself over onto his back and seems unable to right himself, his little legs waving in the air while he cries. Trying to be careful with your ribs, you reach out to scoop him up and cradle him to your chest, rocking him back and forth until his cries quiet down. Wow, you have a very strong nurturing instinct. I think he likes you. You almost look like you could be his Lucis, or a Jade Blood. You are pleased that she approves of your caretaking display. The Wiggler's cough breaks through your haze of smug satisfaction, and when you look down you realize that he seems to be having some trouble breathing. You point this out to Bronya. Good observation. You really are a natural at taking care of other creatures, aren't you? Some people find that nurturing ability to be very attractive to a potential friend. But as for the Wiggler, this is definitely not a good sign. I'm surprised none of these drones have noticed that he's sick. If we leave him here, he'll be cold for sure. Bronya takes the Wiggler from you, and you're more than happy to hand him over, considering that you have no idea what to do with a sick baby that's not your species. Also, your broken ribs make holding a baby kind of painful, and Bronya holds the Wiggler carefully, but with perfect ease, just like you hope she'll cradle your new friendship in its infancy. Oh, of course, being a weenie was the exact thing we needed. Once Bronya feels assured that her Jades have the situation at the Brooding Caverns under control, you both take the Wigglers back to the Jade Blood Nursery. You hover around uselessly while Bronya sets up some kind of crib filled with green slime. You're a little concerned when she takes the Wiggler and submerges him under the slime because, like, he was already having trouble breathing? Surely drowning in slime won't help? The soaper should help strengthen his bellow sacs and soothe his sorrow chute. When he gets healthy again, I'll take him back to the cavern and set him free to make his cocoon and pupate. But he's so small, it's unlikely that she'll survive the trials or be selected by a Lucis. You hate to see Bronya looking sad. You try to be sympathetic, mentioning your astute observation that this whole system set up with the Wigglers and the trials and the culling seems pretty brutal. What? Oh no, I would never suggest... This is just the way the world works, and it's fine. It's fine. The trials are how young trolls prove that they're strong enough to survive. It's only right for the weak to be cold. It's the purpose of Jade Bloods to ensure the continuation of our species, and consequently the humospectrum. We are not revolutionaries. We're meant to do our jobs and keep our heads down and keep things running smoothly. I would never presume to question the basic tenets of Alternian society. That would bring negative attention from the High Bloods, and I just want to keep my jade safe. You look around at the nursery and all these injured or underdeveloped wigglers that Bronya was apparently supposed to let die. You think it might not be true that she doesn't question the way her world works. She's looking at you like she's scared you'll call her on it and expose her altruistic tendencies. You try to salvage this conversation thread. Did you say that the culling wigglers sounded brutal? You meant neutral. Yes, you feel 100% neutral on this topic, neither committed to the culling side of things nor eager to take up arms in revolution. Ah yes, neutral is how I feel about it as well. What a good word to describe exactly how I feel about all controversial political subjects. Did I mention that keeping this nursery isn't technically illegal? Because it isn't. Technically. There is no reason for any of Triss's drones to come investigating our hive, and if any drones do come knocking, we have nothing to hide. No borderline revolutionary ideas will be tolerated within these walls. Bronya laughs nervously and looks around the room, like she's making sure that any Imperial drones hiding in here heard her announcement. You feel bad for how nervous she is. You didn't mean to freak her out. You tell her that she sounds super convincing, and why wouldn't she? She's clearly telling the truth. If you were an Imperial drone, you would definitely be satisfied right now with her clearly law-abiding and neutral ways. Thank you. That means a lot. You cast about for something to change the subject and mention that your ribs are feeling a bit better. Bronya's face brightens, and she lifts up your arm gently so she can touch the injured part of your torso, examining it in her typically responsible and authoritative way. You shiver and wonder if her touch has healing properties. I'm glad to hear that. After all, I don't like it when my friends suffer. Your heart leaps. You look up, scarcely allowing yourself to hope. Could it be? Or was she just making a general statement? If you're not in any more pain, hopefully that means your injuries will heal soon. I'll take care of you until then, my friend. You are overcome. Your eyes fill with tears. Bronya smiles at you and squeezes your hand. Damn. Victory. Self-care comes first. Well, time for the bad end. The bison Lusa seems to be causing quite a ruckus. Other Lusi have now gotten riled up too, with some of them trying to gather wigglers to keep them out of harm's way and others just getting hyped to thrash. It seems like you could turn into a monster stampede and they're close to the mother grub's big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great. Fighting a monster single-handed seems like a daunting first step in a friendship, but you did tell her you could be responsible. You square your shoulders and tell Bronya that she has nothing to worry about. You're going to stop that, Lucis. Calm down all the other Luci, and protect the mother grub, all without breaking a sweat, and hopefully without breaking any more bones either. Whoa there. I was going to suggest that I go after it while you stay here. You seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take the lead on this. That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally, you would be all about sitting back and letting her protect you because, well, protective and responsible is a good look on her. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy to be her friend. You do your best to project an air of confidence, or at least competence. You assure her that this is no sweat for you. You take down raging bison back on your home planet all the time. You're known for it, actually. Well, if you say that this isn't your first undulate roping gallop exhibition, I'll believe you. I'll hang back and let you give it a shot. But if it gets too overwhelming in there, I'm right here. Caring for the mother grub is my responsibility as a jade blood. Blood. I'd never abandon a friend to deal with a mess on their own. If we end up being friends, that is. Oh, hell yes. Now you have reason to hope. You approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bison have horns like that? Maybe they do. You're no bison expert, but you're pretty sure they don't all have teeth that nasty. Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like a herbivore. At first, you try to calm the Lucis down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effect. In fact, you might have just made it even angrier. by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breaths in reaction to its trampled charge. You're not even sure that it can understand human, or human speech, come to think of it. You circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the mother grub. You look around to see if any of these other Luci look vaguely like Earth Shepherd dogs, but no dice. You hesitate too long, and the Lucis turns away, its furious eyes falling on the mother grub. It stamps its hooves, snorts air out of its nostrils, and screams in a way that sounds a lot more hellish than you imagine normal bison are capable of. It's obviously about to charge, and you can only think of one thing to do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it football style, doing everything you can with your flimsy human body. You drag it onto its side. It half works. You plow into the Lucis and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over onto a nest of wigglers, taking you down with it. Wigglers and young trolls go bouncing everywhere, squealing in distress, and the Luci descend upon you in a rage. Everything is chaos for a while. You're trapped beneath the bison Lucis, which is very worrying for all of your body parts, and you think you might feel something important rupturing inside you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all the other pissed off Luci trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to get dicey, you hear a commotion, and what sounds possibly like the trouncing of some other of the smaller Luci that were trying to get to you. The crowd of beasts around you scatters, and then you hear her. Oof, I'm having a hard time getting this thing off of you. And he's still very angry. He keeps trying to kick me. Where's a bronze blood when you need one? You don't know what that means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. You try to communicate this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth. Maybe don't try to speak, or move, or help. You experience a sinking feeling that could be related to your diminishing odds of impressing Bronya and becoming her friend, or it could be the incompression of all your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you can give in to complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by the mass of bison flesh on top of you, but could it be? Are these other people here to save you? Finally, I was wondering where you all had gotten off to. Let's all work together, girls. You two grab his horns to keep the head still and keep it from biting anyone. The rest of you come around with me to its backside so we can push it without getting kicked. You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noises that sound more confused and less furious. The pressure and pain on your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing's weight shifts, and then they just succeed in dragging it off you because suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not yet over. While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking up at the cavern ceiling, you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises. Uh-oh. The other Luci are still agitated. Get down there and try to calm them down. Protect the mother grub. You try to lift yourself to see what's going on, but putting any weight on your arms makes you feel like maybe all of your bones just got turned into confetti. Painful, painful confetti. You feel strong hands propping you up gently, and now your head is in Bronya's lap. You try to focus more on how this is a nice place for your head to be and less on the pain. This is not good. I don't know if my jades can reach the stampede in time, and the mother grub could get injured. Not to mention all these wigglers in danger. Oh no. You didn't think the situation could get any worse, but now you see that several of the Imperial drones that had been about to leave the cavern are turning back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. But maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe they can instill some order. Fuck, they're going to kill everyone! She scrambles to her feet, in the process letting your head whack down on the cave floor. Your vision swims, but you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately, at the Luci, at the grubs and the wigglers, and at the jade bloods. One laser beam skims the side of the mother grub's massive midsection, and her scream is so loud that the ceiling shakes, and a few stalactites shake loose, falling on drones and Luci and wigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe. A whole rainbow's worth of troll, wiggler, and Lucis blood is splattering the cavern walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her jades to the mother grub to the imperiled wigglers like she's not sure who to help first. I can't believe it. This is the worst disaster we've ever had down here. And all because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I were a less secure person, I could let this moment plant a seed of self-doubt in my mind about my ability to take care of others and do my job well. Or I could chalk it up to you being really fucking stupid. You shrink under the weight of her gaze. She's green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask a question that you already know is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends? Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anyone who recklessly endangers the trolls and wigglers under my care. Oof. Game over. You killed them all. Well, that is all of the endings currently. And I think I liked her the least. But that's that. So now that that's over with, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and this will become a video. Man, it's so bizarre, just kind of letting streams become videos. Such a fun time. Oh yes, absolutely fun. The best story was with Skyla. Not gonna fucking lie. Like, Skyla is best. The best. Permanently. Forever. I don't think that any troll we ever get afterwards is going to be even remotely as best. But, yeah, that was parts 1, 2, and 3 of Hiveswap Friend Sim. Now I guess we just wait for the rest of them. Oh God, wait until we fucking meet some fucking purple bloods. What was that? Okay, so we've got a cerulean, we've got a rust, a blue blood, a gold blood, bronze, and jade. So that leaves an olive, a teal, and a purple. Oh no, and a fuchsia and a violet. I'm not looking forward to meeting a fucking juggalo. Just putting that out there. Oh no, I'm sure it'll be fun times all around. Anyway, yeah, that's going to oh, we didn't get any violets? Wait, did we not get any violets? Hold on. All right. Did we get any fuchsias? No. We didn't get any sea dwellers. Ooh. Maybe it's because they've already got the Eris. Maybe the Eris is meant to be the only sea dweller we get out of this batch. I mean, I say quote out of this batch, but I mean we're out of Hiveswap, you know? Oh, you'll see. Ha! Fucking yeah, of course. All right. Well, yep, that's been Hives. So, all right, before I actually end, I wanted to say that I'm going to be this is kind of like an announcement for the YouTube channel as a whole. You think fuchsias are supposed to be super, super rare? Yeah, probably. But as an announcement for the channel as a whole, I'm not doing much streaming or videos right now because I'm dedicating a lot of energy and time to
what is essentially going to be a series where I attempt to make lucid and well thought out lucid and well thought out, what's the word? Analyses of the aspects. I want to kind of find a, like, I want, this is going to be a huge undertaking for me because obviously I'm fucking retarded, but I want to attempt to become more knowledgeable, and my end goal is going to be having a series that will translate the aspects and the to translate the Classpect system into oh no, that's my headphones. Translate the Classpect system into a horoscope, as it were. Hold on. I want to kind of find a way to make it so that the aspect system and the Classpect system from Homestuck has a relatable translation into reality. You know, like say you were say you took the Hive Swap quiz, right? And it turned out you found you were for example, a prospect dreamer of the time aspect, right? I want, like, they've already got descriptions of the Jade Bloods, as it were, what it means to be a prospect dreamer and what it means to be a time aspect player. But what I aim to do is to translate what that means for you, like what kind of struggles you as a person are likely to see as someone of those particular facets, if you catch my drift. I want to find a good way to translate those struggles into reality, in, as I said, in a bit of a horoscope-ish way. But that's going to be a huge undertaking, and it's going to take some time, so my channel may be very slow for a while. I'm going to, my first attempts will be interesting, but hopefully my first video will establish the groundwork for this attempt to translate into a horoscope. I'm not going to, I mean, I've already said what I'm doing in my Discord, but I'm not going to elaborate much here on the channel. I'm just gonna leave it there. So if you're not already in my Discord, go ahead and join us, and we'll see you later. Have a fantastic day. Bye. Later.